Do 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 do. I just read a very concerning message from someone in the community, and it's like in the back of my mind, and I'm not sure I'm not sure if I should talk about it, communicate it, or if I should follow up with them. But someone was in a Clubhouse today, and the conversation we were talking about the Sorcerer Scholarship, and Sal was asking me like if I was confident in my like shot at getting it, to which I answered him like I don't feel any more confident than I did previously. I like, you might think it's a load of crap, but like I don't think that all of this content that I've made really gives me a better shot than anybody else, because it's not just, I mean, it's Gary's choice, but there's like all sorts of other variables and things. And I think ultimately that it would be nice to see the token go to somebody who's less privileged than I am. Like, I have a job and a nice apartment in New York City. And like, you know, I'm like, yes, anybody getting this token, it would like elevate their opportunities by a mile. But I think, you know, in the scheme of things, like, I'll be able to get a lot of opportunities just from the position I'm in. And I think maybe, I don't know what his thought is on this, but I think maybe one of the interests is like bringing the opportunity to someone who otherwise wouldn't have access to opportunities. Like someone like me who lives on a coast in a big city and can literally like walk to VaynerMedia. So I don't know. This person was in the Clubhouse room, and Sal asked me who I would pick from the community, which is like such an unfair question, because, you know, I want to be equitable. And like, there are people like, so like Droshik, for example. Everybody knows I love Droshik, but he's not one of the first 5 people that came to mind. But like, I would want him to have it as well. Like, I would want to give it to 50 people, but there's only 5. And I guess I wasn't even really looking at the Clubhouse room, like who was in there. And he sent me this really long message that I had like disrespected his aspirations by not mentioning him in the conversation. And I just feel bad. Like, that hurts, you know, like I know that on the one hand, it's like, don't care what other people think, like don't hear the cheering or the booing. And it's not quite that. But it sucks to think that like kind of like fun conversation that we were having made someone feel excluded from the community. So, you know, I guess I'm sharing this with you because it's on my mind and I don't want it to be weighing with me for the rest of the show, but also that like, I don't know, give people a break a little bit. Like, not like someone giving someone else praise isn't necessarily like there's enough praise to go around. Like, just because someone else is doing good doesn't mean that you're not. Like, it doesn't have to pull away from what's great about you. And I just really hope that nobody feels like, I guess it's this. It's like with the, you know, call it 500 people who are most active across Clubhouse and Instagram and Twitter and Discord. And it's probably more than 500, but I feel like, you know, especially if you're following this page, like we've got 1,700 or so followers now. I feel like I see 300 to 500 of you every single week. And there's a bit of a core group. Like there are friends, and I'm hoping that those friends don't become cliques. And even if they do become cliques, like don't presuppose that you're like not a cool kid or not invited or not welcome to participate in the relationships that are being built. I just really hope that nobody's misconstruing like authentic connections happening in one metaverse space, whether it's Clubhouse or Twitter or otherwise, for like a disregard for your existence, or that like your aspirations don't matter, or that you're not important to the community. Like, there are people in this community who haven't left a single comment, who are just as valuable as me, who is commenting and making content every single day. There are people who have yet to make a single comment that will come out of the woodwork in 5 years and become one of the most influential pillars in the community, period, for the long term. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, I just like needed to get this out because I literally read it before I went live. Like, if you're out there feeling like you're excluded from any of these things that are going on, Instagram lives, Clubhouses, Twitter spaces, other Discords that are being formed, community projects and all the rest, please don't let that swell or consume you in some negative way. Like talk about that. Like, it's okay to just come out and say like, hey, I feel excluded from this conversation. Can you bring me up to date? Can you bring me into it? Can I, like, where can I learn about this? I really don't think anybody is intentionally trying to like exclude anyone. And so that this person felt that way and needed to express it and like kind of made me the instigator of it being exclusionary, I take very seriously, because, this page is unofficial. Everybody knows that. I'm just a guy who had an idea. I like this community. Like, because of all the passion and love that you all have given me, I am so motivated day in and day out to follow this project and like give you the updates. But I also recognize that like I'm out in front and I'm a bit of a, I'm not a surrogate, but I'm a bit of a representative of the community in that way. Like, we're in Twitter spaces and people are like, Jeremy's the guy to talk to about this, that, or the other thing. And so, I know a lot of this is out of my control at the end of the day, but like, I'm going to do my best to just like communicate about it and like share with you that there's no reason to feel, excluded. And then if you do, then please speak up, because there's room in the community for everyone. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest. We've got 5 minutes until the super stream kicks off. This is just the pre-show. Welcome everybody on Twitch. Instagram, if you want to come over to twitch.tv/vfriends. We are going to be going for quite a while. Let me see these comments. Yeah, you can't hold yourself accountable for someone else's feelings. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but it's still important to have empathy for people who, for people in general. I appreciate that. What's up? Yes, people have to make that choice, put themselves out there. Yeah, and some people are more, just because someone is more vocal than you in the community doesn't mean that they're more valuable than you. Like, it's just like a simple thing. But like, I understand that maybe it doesn't feel that way. Maybe it feels like, oh, I can only get attention if I'm vocal. Well, let me dissuade you of that reality. There are plenty of people who are not public speakers who have contributed incredible things to the world and communities all around it. What's up, Chaotic Mango? Hey, Chris. If you have the time, I would love for you to continue what you did in the start, sharing VFriends stories. Thank you, Yotam, for bringing that up. So what Yotam is talking about is the community chat, and I really want to get back to that. I'd like to do it like every night, actually, but I don't have the bandwidth to schedule people to be there. So I don't know, Yotam, if you want to help me find people who are available in the evenings for an hour-long deep dive, because I'm really missing that part of the channel, but I just haven't had the capacity to like put it together. So if anybody's interested in doing, like, we're going to do a deep dive with Chase right now from the Phantom NFT project. We're going to do a deep dive with Sam Blade after that. So it's happening, but Cam used to schedule everything, and now Cam is no longer doing that. So I just haven't figured that part out yet. But thank you for bringing it up. I do want to see more of that on the channel. Yeah, I'm busy right now. I feel that. And it's like, it's totally a boys club or a girls club for whatever project. It's easy to feel like, oh, I don't own the token, so I'm not a part of it. And I think that's something that we also have to work with, and making more opportunities and just inclusivity for people who don't have tokens. And there's stuff like the Poe app that was released this week that was great. Like anybody could have, and you didn't have to have a VFriend to get that. You know, you don't need a VFriend to participate in the fantasy football draft. You don't need a VFriend to participate in the DraftKings stuff and all the rest. Yeah, Twitter Space was awesome last night. What's up, Charlie? Hey, Corso. And Sam Blade is here. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to Instagram. We're on Twitch now. I tried to do the split focus. It's not the best. So we're just going to do one thing at a time. Thank you for tuning in. Join us at twitch.tv/VFriends. And yeah, it should be a fun night. I'm going to post the link for you really quick. Cool. Oh, yo, Tom. My evening is your early morning. Got it. I mean, Yotam, do you want to do a community chat this week? Because I could do it my morning, so it's your evening. You just let me know what is best for you. We can make it happen. I sent the link to my partner as well. His name's Andy. That's great. Thank you, Chase. Chase, I'm going to bring you up in just a minute. I'm just going to end this live stream, and I'm going to post a story that says twitch.tv/VFriends. Yeah, it's like with all of this, I feel a little perpetually behind, but I've got to give myself some grace. There's a lot to keep up with. I think I did a fairly good job. Cool. This is fun. I think I'm also going to fire up Nightbot so we can do some giveaways later. Let me log in here. Twitch. That's all good. Let's go to the giveaways page. And we're good. Cool. All right. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. 13 people in the house. Love that. Sam EST. Yeah. Sam, we'll see you in an hour. And actually, let's get started with Chase so we're on time. Monday will be a Halloween drop. Oh, that's an interesting take. Yeah, my camera looks good because I'm a professional photographer and I'm using my Sony camera. It's Ultra HD because I have a Sigma lens, and it's just a high quality lens. That's awesome. What's up, Corso? Cool. All right, Chase, you ready? I'm gonna bring you up, and let me get my headphones so I can hear you. And we're in. How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well.
I want to thank you for having me on, man. And if I would have known that the trick is to have such a high quality camera to look that good, man, I would have done that a long time ago. I'm dealing with a webcam here, guys. Don't compare, okay?
You look great, man. I don't sweat it at all. It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, man. Especially because I've been listening to you for some time, in Clubhouse and such. When I get a chance, I drop in.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. And I don't really have a lot of context on you. I know you reached out. You wanted to do like an Ask Me Anything about your project, but I haven't even looked into your project. So
that's all right.
I can share my screen and stuff. If you want to give me a web page.
Yeah, if you want to jump on phantomunearthed.com is our website. Okay. At the same juncture, I'm a VFriend holder as well. I'm a V fan, so we can touch in on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Going back a little earlier, you're talking about the type of value that being in the VFriends Discord gives. We're dealing with that too, of deciding what's members only and what's not as far as token holders.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Gary does a really good job. He always has and always will, of giving value just for being a part of whatever he's in, whether that's his tech service or his Discord. There's a lot of value, a lot of things he drops in there, some things to look out for, some NFT projects that maybe aren't VFriend hype yet, but are definitely valuable and
are on the way up. And he said from the beginning, he's like, he like canceled out his entire speaking lineup so that he could devote that time to VFriend stuff. and then that he would hedge for everybody else who didn't have eFriends. That he wanted to like deliver for everybody that couldn't make it as well.
For yep, absolutely. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
No, I feel that that's what we're trying to decide is what will drive somebody to get a token, but not take away from the experience, you know, because we want anybody, token or not, to get something out of it, to want to be a part of the Discord and join in and hang out and hopefully, you know, buy into it. So I get it 100%.
Right. And how did you, I would love a little like,
I'll give you my three to 5 minute.
How you found Gary. Yeah.
So I'll take it from the top. So we are 710 Phantom. We are an actual cannabis business out of Washington State. We've been in the grind of a licensed cannabis business for 5-6 years now. We started as a production facility, then turned into for a production side, a nursery or like a clone house. So we sell genetics and just small plants to other producers. And just as a,
they take on the growing process. You like get the sapling healthy, and then they take it. Got it.
You got it. Yeah, and we have 140 different strains, or probably more at this juncture, that we provide, and we are able to sell to both medical patients in Washington State as well as producers. And so some of the big producers and brands out there get their starts from us. Just as of this last year, or maybe November of last year, is when we took the leap into our own brand and doing retail. We were mainly business to business, being a nursery, and took the leap into business to consumer. We had already been doing some extraction work for concentrates, but for other companies, and kind of helped them lead the way. And working in this industry, some brands have a hard time keeping things right. You know, it's a tricky industry. A lot of kind of like the NFT space. It's kind of new, it's fresh. So we had to kind of switch gears from being business to business, which is where we got our name, the Phantom. We had already been kind of in the background working, making concentrates. And then we launched our own brand, which we named Phantom, started with our own hydrocarbon concentrate. We also bring in flower from some of those clones, the producers that grow our flower. We buy it back, bring it in. And then to take that into the NFT side, man, probably I'm a pretty late comer when it comes to crypto and NFT, as far as that's concerned. As early as we all are, I'm late in the early comers. It was probably February, March when my business partner, Andy, he may jump on. I know he's watching us either way, but he was kind of, you know, like, hey, you should really be looking into Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Look at these currencies. And a lot like Gary talks about, if anybody here is a Gary fan, which I'm assuming you are.
Yeah.
You know, currency didn't do a whole lot for me. I'm not I'd rather invest in myself or in the things that I'm doing rather than a company or a currency. So, but I started doing the digging. That's when I broke open Ethereum, started paying attention to OpenSea. Right about that time is when Gary started. I'd been consuming a good amount of his content to and from work. And around that time, that's when he started hinting and talking about NFTs as a whole. And I was just like, man, as a cannabis brand, it would be awesome to be the first brand to somehow, whether it be in a marketing fashion or some way, bring that into the space, be the first cannabis NFT. And that's how it started. It wasn't until VFriends launched that we were able to really do that. Like,
connect some of the dots.
I revisited probably end of May, and I have to give another big thankful to Gary V and the community, because I jumped in the NFT Code Talk channel there, and I let people know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to kind of speak it into existence. I got hit up by a good number of people and talked to as many people as I could as far as learning their skill level. They knew what we were looking for. Had this kind of dream project that is Phantom Unearthed now that I've been able to lay out and make come true. But it's really thanks to that, because we came in contact with Zay.Codes. If you jump on our team on Phantom Unearthed, Amit, Bilal, man, Pratik, those guys saved us. Like they they're partners with us in this project, and they make it all possible. And it's funny, it just all started from VFriends, you know, like I was saying, and that you can get to whether or not you're a holder. I happen to be a holder. I've got 4 VFriends myself that I'm so fortunate as I'm watching and learning about NFTs. And that was my first project I actually bought into. That's when I started getting it, like really, really getting it from an investment and collectible standpoint, as well as the utility and access, which we try to take an aspect of each of that. Phantom Unearth, although a cannabis related NFT project, you can see the feelings and inner workings of a VFriends type backing. You know, we have access tokens. We are doing a convention that's going to be wrapped around NFTs and cannabis. Bring both, marry those things together. 2 awesome communities and industry and people that I think belong together. It's like-minded people that are willing to take a leap. So it seems to be a fit, and that's where we dive into, you know, both locally and, you know, across the states and beyond. We really want to touch everybody and give everybody as much value as we can.
Wow. I have so many questions. That's amazing. So
Thank you.
I'm kind of curious, just to give people some context, because obviously you had the resources of the Coder Talk channel. And to reiterate it, that's completely free. You don't have to be a VFriend token holder. Those resources are available. But you happen to find somebody in there that believed in your vision and helped you build this. So I'd love if you could give us an idea of timeline. Like you were aware of NFTs before VFriends.
Yes.
You saw VFriends in May, and then things started to click more as the launch happened. So let's call it like the month of May. This idea is gestating. When do you go into Coder Talk and find this person who can help you? And how long did it take to communicate your message into actual? Because I can see your website. It looks like you're ready for launch.
We're pretty dang ready. I have some bad news to report today, which we can talk about. But we're getting trouble from Stripe, which we can talk about flow and those inner workings because we're using integrate blockchain.
See, I think all that is such huge value. Like, I don't know how much, if you paid or if you gave equity to your coder, but like I'm getting a lot of.
They're partners with us, man. We're in this together.
That's great. That's really great.
That was important to me for whoever we brought in is, you know, I come from a spot like in the cannabis industry. I have to know everything that I'm doing within that, right? Like, we grow. I had to learn and figure out and master growing, concentrate, same thing. Like, even if you're going to hire somebody for it, I want to understand it. So they put a lot of faith in me, and I put a lot of faith in them, because coding is not my claim to fame. Like, I make sure that I understand everything that they're talking about so that I can share the message and that I can get the right information out to people that are interested. But do I speak that language? There's no way, you know. But to get back to the time frame of that, like I said, it was probably March when I was actively looking. Like, you know, at first you're listening to NFT stuff and you're like, oh, this sounds so easy, and you're like, maybe I can just like, you know, it's just a plug and play, you know, like everything in the world is now, right? Like, I should just be able to slap one of them babies on, hook it up to OpenSea. It's no thing, you know. And
where's the drag and drop function?
Right. And this is, you know, probably about the time that Gary's talking about, like, if you were to write a book and having a gold token and, you know what I mean? Like, the way to like utilize this. And I'm like, God, this is amazing. Like, I would love to be this. And then we dropped off for a minute. You know, business is business. Things pick up, working on different things, still consuming, learning in the evenings, nights, obsessing, is, you know, and then VFriends hit. And that's when I was like, okay, first off, Gary doesn't ask for a buy often. So I knew it was, I had to get in. Like, it didn't, luckily I had done enough to like start the Ethereum, you know, get Coinbase, MetaMask, and be digging into OpenSea. So I kind of understood, grabbed in on that. It was still that was really what dug me in of like, we could do this. Like, we really could do this, guys. Like, let's look a little deeper. Then my next one was Gutter Cat Gang. Honestly, that was the next one. I was like, okay, right after VFriends, I like these one of ones. It's around something we were talking about doing, because we have the 140 strains in our I-502 clone house, like maybe doing more strain related. And I was like, I just felt like the Phantom is what made us special. It's more legitimate. Anybody
it's
can
more of
do
an
a strain.
IP.
It's exactly. It's an intellectual property play instead of a check out a plant that somebody else bred. If we had bred it ourselves, or if we were the breeders of that, I could definitely see that. But that's when we really got the idea of Phantom. Right around that time, it had to have been late May, early June. That's when I'm digging in. We could probably search it in the Discord if we wanted to.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And really get a date on that. But that's when I started reaching out. And then I talked to the guys, and Amit was the first to really respond. And I was digging through with a couple other people, but he saw it and he was like, man, this is a cool project. Like I would really love to be a part of this. And that's when I knew, like, okay, you want to be a part of it. That's telling me the right things, like I want you to buy in on this. I want us to be a partnership. I want to be able to bring value to you, because they're going to have a bright future, whether or not whatever happens to my project. Right. But if I can give them that extra push, that's something special. That's what we want to do. They're the ones that talked us into going with Flow.
So great. Flow blockchain.
So we can touch on that a little bit.
Oh, I'm very excited to learn about that. Yeah.
Ethereum, anybody that has a VFriend or has looked into it probably has learned a little bit about a MetaMask or non-custodial wallet, OpenSea, Ethereum, Gas. Flow takes a lot of that out. And they're the new kids on the block. They're brand new. They are also the ones that brought NBA Top Shot. That is their project, right? Like that's how Flow is relevant already, because I think they launched in 2020. So they had the proof first, and now they're working on everything else, right? They're rolling out everything else as we speak. I don't even think it's tradable here yet in the US, which is unfortunate. I think it'll be worth it once it gets there. But it's so smooth. It's still decentralized. Like I have a video on the Discord. If anybody wants to join up on the Discord and just see how easy it can be, or it is, we can take credit debit card, which helps when you're bringing people in onboarding from another area.
Yes.
Which we're cannabis related. So we're bringing people in. We're doing claim codes on some of our packaging, so people can actually get a free NFT if they buy our product. That's given back to our customers that have already supported us. So I think that's really important.
That's cool.
Likewise, the pricing for our product is very similar to a concentrate. So our cores are $40. Accesses are a little bit more at $300. But it lets people a low cost of entry. That's 0.011 ETH and like 0.07 ETH for an access token, which you compare to some of these others, they get spendy. It lets people get in on this and be a part of it. And it's just it's more consumer centric. Flow is very just simplified. It's no different than if you were to jump on Amazon and check out. It can go that quick. It allows us to take credit debit, as well as we can take Ethereum, Bitcoin, so that we have options. Trying to give the best of both.
And how much front end coding did that require, or does Flow provide you some kind of interface?
They do have some, but Zay.codes, so we use Stripe and Coinbase Commerce. I won't go too deep into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to join your Discord right now to share it. Oh, I have an invite link, but I can't see any of the channels.
Select a role in there.
But I don't have the roles channel.
Did your pop-up come up to give you to make sure you're
Carl bot?
Yep.
Yep. Do I have to say hello? Yeah, it says I joined, but I mean, we don't have to. We can do tech support later. I just wanted to give people a.
No, I'm curious. Let me jump in there. I saw you up on my screen join, so let me peek at you real quick. See if I can find you.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably a little more nitty gritty than we need to go, but I'm very fascinated by the fiat gateway, because even though you have to deal with the gas, and I guess Flow is a lot cheaper, for the onboarding, it's like it is the frictionless model. And like we know that Gary loves to take out the friction.
Right.
But the reason that he did it this way was for the education. Basically the education value was more than onboarding people who could drop $2,000 to $4,000.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And I don't think he was wrong, especially with the following that he has. Ethereum automatically gives you a leg up. Your resale market's going to be much hotter. OpenSea and Flow working together. It's been announced. You can go and find it. So when that happens, it's going to be really nice. But it required us, or it's requiring us to build our own secondary market. So a lot like CryptoPunks and Larva Labs over there, like you go on their website to list and buy and sell. You'll have to do the same with us to begin with when it's talking secondary market, which is definitely a downside. But I just felt that, especially for Phantom and Earth 1.0, giving the simplicity for somebody that's never seen an NFT, maybe even hasn't even been a customer or a follower of ours just yet, because they're picking up our product for the first time and they're able to claim. I wanted it to be nice and seamless. It's clean. If we want to do a Phantom and Earth 2.0 on Ethereum, if that's the right play, we'll definitely talk to our community and decide that collectively. But it's so much smoother. There actually is no gas for the consumer unless they're using a cryptocurrency. So if they're bringing ETH over to make the payment, it's just the Ethereum payment for the transfer.
Yeah, off network.
Yep, we take care of all that, and it's still completely decentralized. We have a non-custodial wallet in Blockto. You just do it at the time that you're registering. So it's not like you have to prep and get ahead. You can do so. Like right now, if you're on our website, Jeremy, right now you can jump on My Phantoms. There's a sign-in link there, and right from there you can already begin registering for your Blockto and with Flow, and it'll assign you your wallet ID. Yep, there she goes.
Let's go.
Yep, it's as simple as that. So you're going to put in your email, you're going to generate a code at that time, and then it's going to go to your email, enter in that code, and you're flowing. You're moving.
Wow, I'm so excited. We're discovering new blockchains live on stream.
That's right. That's right.
I've actually heard a lot about Flow. I remember hearing criticism of Gary when he launched that, he should have done Wax, should have done Flow.
Yep. I mean, he's right that I think he's right that he left money on the table to not, but that was also the beauty part of what he did, right? Like he brought a lot of people into the space that they can now do something with. You know, it took me that first uncomfortability of buying a V-Friend to then jump into a Gutter Cat and then a Curio card and then so on and so forth. The difference is we're going to be doing a simpler form of getting them into our community, and then we hope to use our community to do what Gary did with his project, right? Like we have an NFT lounge. We talk about projects, and it's not a giant Discord yet. You know, we definitely hope to get there and people see the value of joining us and the things that you get out of it. We can talk benefits a little later, but that's a big one. You know, like we want to show people the other blockchains. It's an and world, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think Ethereum is probably going to be the giant that remains, that people are kind of expecting right now, but it's all about the interoperability, right? Like it's all about them working together and solving problems that the main chain can't handle, and serving the needs of the market. And they're
working on it. There's no doubt in my mind that Ethereum will be around and that it will fix that. I just think that much like, Amazon, eBay, there's other options, right? It's not going to be a one claim to fame. And I think Flow is going to surprise a lot of people once it comes out.
Oh, wow. You're launching tomorrow.
So
should
we jump right into it?
I mean, yeah, we can jump around.
So Stripe,
I just was curious.
Stripe is giving us issues with the type of business that we are. So we will be pushing that back a little bit. We have to rework taking fiat because of the type of business that we're connected to. Even though we're not selling a cannabis related product, it's cannabis related. And Stripe gave me an email at midnight last night, and I've been going back and forth appealing this, but they just came down right before this this AMA here today with you and gave me the no-go. So we're exploring other options. You know, my devs are awesome. They've got some backup plans in place, but it might push us out as far as 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, that's life.
Amen.
And like another important lesson, like the reason I asked you about timeline in the first place is because, and are you applying for the PLP with this project?
I actually, yep, I already did. I
Nice.
already did. So we'll see what happens. Just, you know, no spoilers. I haven't heard anything back yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, if
Well,
I do,
they're
and
constantly they're constantly receiving and sifting through them.
they've got to be inundated, man. I was thinking, you know, the
They've got
NFT space
thousands
is
of
so
applications.
loud now. It's so loud and it happens so quickly that
The reason I wanted to ask about timing is because I think it's easy to maybe think it's easier than it looks as it's easy just by how many projects are coming out. But like, I think having a 3-week delay because of a payment processing thing is probably a very normal hurdle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've already pushed back once at least.
Yeah, I'm working on an NFT project that I've pushed back 3 times and currently is like dead in the water. Like I'll get back to it, but like it's totally at the end of my priority list, right? Because I'm like doing this, you know?
Right. No, I love what you do, man. Hey, you got a lot going on. I don't know how you keep up with it. And that's coming from a business owner that's also trying to run this project.
Yeah.
Discord. And I think you give me a run for my money on busyness. So
well, thanks. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. And if there's anything that I can do or you know, along with my developers to help you out with that, hit us up. They're literally the best guys in the world. I would be nowhere without them. So
yeah, I mean, my situation, like anybody's, it's unique, you know, like the reason I've never said my project's dead in the water before, but I say that now because I was working with a dev for like a month and then he ghosted me. And so suddenly I was like back to square one when I was like, I felt like I was on the edge of announcing a date.
Right.
Then,
then
I got with another dev, but then things started to pick up again. And then I had to travel. I had to travel home. So now all these things are happening.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it's like, I would love to be able to like make something awesome for the community. And like, I have a lot of ideas. And I think that is, and hopefully this is valuable for someone. Like the decision-making process gets can be very complicated when you don't know necessarily how to speak to a developer.
Right.
While you're still learning what's possible.
Yes.
And if you're not entirely concretely sure what you want, all of that extends your launch date like weeks and weeks at a time. And that's where I found myself in. Like, as soon as I started to learn more, I had a new idea that was better and also took 3 times as long to create.
Right. Oh yeah, the NFT space, and I'm sure you can speak to this, and probably a lot of viewers, like the rapid pace that it moves is unreal. Like a week feels like 3 months with what changes and what's new. And so our project, although I had a very, very good idea in mind of what I wanted to do, I had a target, and that was with the claim codes, using the phantoms, you know, IP play, long term, everything had to be made with the decision of get people here and worry about everything later, right? Like,
build the community
build
first.
value, build community, and then the rest will fall into place. And we just kind of had this idea, but the things that we've changed along the way, or the benefits that we wanted to give, or what we felt made us unique, has changed incrementally. And then like the things that you're like, man, this should be easy. Like, you know, let's just talk about all these projects that come out with 10,000 one-of-ones. And you're like, oh, these are all the same thing. And our project is 7,100 phantoms, right? Of different traits. Those are all hand-created traits. Those are all hand-created phantoms.
Yeah.
We manually placed everything to about halfway till we figured out that there's a way to do that without doing it. So I won't even talk to you about how many hours we burned, you know, just to get this project.
But burned learning, you know, like
burned and learned. Yep. Burned and learned.
That's a good
No
one.
doubt about
That's also a great little catchphrase for a cannabis business.
That's
Burn and
right.
learn.
That's right.
That should be like your school.
Oh, I love that,
or
man.
the slogan for your school. Burn and learn.
I hope you're recording this, man. We need to definitely.
The whole
read
thing's recorded. You can have it. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, man. I mean, it's been a whirlwind. We're
Let's
excited
go
be
to a
close.
question, because I think and please, if you have questions in the comments, like that's what this time is for.
Yeah.
This might be
Guys.
easy or
Ask me
difficult to
anything.
answer. But what's one thing that you thought would be hard that was actually easier, and one thing that you thought would be easy that was actually a lot harder?
Well, I think I answered that with the art. Like, I really thought that the art, like, I already knew what I wanted it to look like. I wouldn't consider myself an artist, but I do, like, I had a feel of what I wanted it to look like.
Yeah. You were ready to creative direct.
I was like, I had these kind of drawings and thoughts and ideas in mind, and I'm lucky enough that my father-in-law is our head artist. He's extremely great digital art, and so that was what I thought would be easy. And figuring out how to make it work and seamless and clean was an unreal trick to begin with. It still was, even when you figure out that it doesn't have to be manually placed, everything that doesn't get you out of the water. There's so many little intricacies and what goes where and what, anybody that does digital art, like, your placement as far as which plane it goes on and where it belongs. That was much more difficult than what I thought it would be. It took a lot longer than what I thought. Something that went easy. God, is there a thing? Well, I would say it's been easy for me to keep, I'd say a couple of things, to keep the end goal in mind. Like when your mission is very tight, every decision you make gets doubled back to that. And so it's easier to make those tough decisions.
And what is that in a sentence? Like, I know you want to give back to your customers and you want to like create this new level of access, but when you're going back to that, what's that mission statement? What's that like North Star?
I mean, for us, it's pretty multifaceted, but what I kept telling myself, or what I kept asking when it came to making decisions,
crossroads, is
just, can somebody get long-term value out of this project more than myself? Like, can I give something back that other projects can't? And those things helped get to the end product of where we are at now. To give some examples of that at a price point, I think, especially in the early days when we thought we were going to jump out in July, with this project, it was like everybody was asking any price that they wanted to. And right from the beginning, I was like, no. Like, we want this to be easy, easier cost of entry. I won't say it's cheap, but we talk about in comparison. And that means that we have to build for the future for this to be profitable for us. Doing the conventions, doing one-on-ones, doing smoke sessions, doing merch drops that make people a brand ambassador for you is worth it. It's costly, and it's going to happen even if we don't sell out. Like, this very well may be a slow burn. We're bringing on a lot of new people in a very loud space now, and I just want everybody to know that at the end of the day, I will blood, sweat, cry to make sure that this project is worth it to people that join us, that follow us, that buy into it, because we're doing it for the right reasons. We're doing it for the long haul. The intellectual property play, you hear it all the time from Gary Vee. Like, that's more exciting to me than anything else. It's just making this phantom right here, this silly little guy, means something in some way. And that could be, I mentioned this, licensed on a piece of cannabis hardware. It could just be the brand in itself. In a way, when you're buying into this, you're buying into our company, similar to a stock. You can't say a stock, and it's not like you actually have equity within it. But if we play this right, then the brand grows and you grow along with it, right? And that's why the other thing that isn't spelled out on the website. But one thing that we're doing is every token holder gets a vote for actual brand related things. Help
Oh,
us
really?
trains.
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a DAO in that sense.
A little bit of a DAO in that sense is it gives you when we have a new product line, new strains that we are thinking about, we want to bring that to our followers, to our community, to our token holders and say, what do you think will better this project? Because at the end of the day, we're all in it for the right reasons. If we're growing this business right, you're winning. If you give us the right information of what you think would do well, it's listening to your core customer. It's just taking it a step further, so
Right.
it's a win-win, and that's what we're trying to set up.
That was a fantastic answer. I can't wait for you to clip that because that's so exciting to hear. I mean, like, obviously these are words, like execution is the game,
Execution. Amen.
but like I vibe with you. I'm excited. I was going to say that's a great transition to like going to the website because I was peeking around. I think we can go sort of like talk through it to help us understand. But I want to ask you a tough question first because this is the thing that I keep wondering when I'm seeing DAOs pop up that are mostly off chain. Right. Like you're going to be having this voting system. I imagine it's going to be done through a members only Discord channel or something. You'll like have a bit of a pitch deck for something you want to do with the brand. You'll give people notice. You'll show them what you want, and then you'll allow them to vote. Have you given thought to what happens when you know something's right for the business, but the community votes the other way?
So I'll answer that in two ways. Number one, if there's something that I know that I'm bringing that I already know, that's a loss. I shouldn't be looking to the community to do my job as an operator. I'll be upfront and honest about that. It's my job to make sure that regardless of how the NFT project does and the community and everything beyond that, that the cannabis brand and Phantom pushes and the IP moves and does well. With that being said, I think that the types of things that we want to bring to the community are the things that they're going to be right before I'm right, because they are who we're selling to, and even if they're not in our state currently, they are giving us a lot of good information. Maybe what happens in California hasn't hit yet in Washington, or maybe we have somebody that has a token in Israel that has an idea. I think it's worth their vote. I think it's worth listening to it because it usually does translate. Look at social media. It's a little bit different in a lot of places. Even the US is broken up into very, different thoughts and ideas. My God honest feeling though is taking all of those and getting a vote out of that works really well. And if it doesn't land, I'm going to be upfront and honest with the results, and maybe on the next vote, that's going to change the way that we go. That's the way that I view it. And that is very similar in how you were saying that we plan on making that vote happen via Discord or maybe whatever the Discord is of that time, but making sure everybody gets a chance to be heard, be seen.
Yeah, we don't need to go off on a tangent on like how a DAO is best operated, but that is the conversation I keep having with myself when I'm not trying to build a DAO for me, but I'm involved in 2 or 3 now, but I'm not really active. Like I am basically tacitly voting however the majority votes. And when I consider the value of it, I love it because it's like it's just giving power to the people in a way, and also
like a true DAO in my mind is a little ways out of being completely decentralized. The law's written to where they're fully neutral.
Actually provable.
That's hard to do because a developer, whether they want to or not, has a bias. And we can go deep into DAOs. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to go there, but it's just such a fascinating
at all. I'll be completely honest. I know of them. I get kind of how they work, and we have an aspect of that. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's exactly it. I'm not promising a DAO. I am promising that a token holder, when we have a business decision that we want to make that we think will impact the brand and that we see could really use a community's point of view, you guys are the ones. I want nothing more than to get your guys' vote and use that because it's going to do well. It's going to hit because it's already hit. It's already hit in our fans.
Love it. Well, let's just start at the top and look at your website because it looks
Let's do
great.
it. All right, thank you.
So just tell me about this art piece. I feel like there's a lot of little Easter eggs in here. This is your Phantom. I can see
There
that.
is. Yes.
What
So,
else? What are these Easter eggs? Where are we?
man, you're quick. You're quick. I haven't mentioned this. This will probably end up being one of our first contests. There are some traits that are kind of layered throughout here.
Mm.
It has a little bit of our comic lore as well. So there is a full-fledged story that's already written in regards to this. There's some beautiful comic book illustrators that helped us with this as well. And yeah, there's some pieces, some traits, some things that will align to people's NFTs. When we scroll down a little bit and see some of them, yep, you're already getting an idea of what there is and getting a count of those and getting that back. That'll probably be one of our first contests. So if you guys are watching and you plan on joining the Discord, do a little studying on there.
So the merciless king of realm 710 has stripped the Phantom of his true existence and identity. All that is remaining for Phantom are these 7,100 remnants that show 80 different traits that may lead the Phantom to who Phantom really is. The question is, are these clues? Is this a puzzle that could reveal what isn't remembered? Or is this just a decoy that has been left behind by the king? We must unearth the truth. This is a first of its kind full cannabis related NFT collection that gives you value and access. Phantom Unearth Collection Club, is a collection of 7,100 Phantom NFTs that live on the Flow blockchain. Each Phantom NFT is a unique piece of art that was designed by our team. The NFT collection is a rarity scale based collection with a cannabis twist. Along with being a unique collectible, each Phantom grants the owner access to the club, access to the Realm 710, and gives unique member only benefits. This NFT project is tied to the 710 Phantom Cannabis brand. So along with NFT related benefits, owners will also receive real life cannabis related benefits. Love it.
Thank you, man.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that the there, that's a little play at all these collection names that come out. I wanted to poke a little fun while giving a little homage to them. So
yeah, that's fun.
Yep. So you see here, these getting a little slideshow or a little GIF of a few.
Yeah,
of our
I like
traits.
this top hat that goes out of the window.
Yeah,
it's fun. So the core tokens. So these are the ones that are like $100.
They're only $40. Yeah, they're only $40, and this is core benefits are what every Phantom holder is going to get.
Okay. So let's walk through it. So ownership of the art, great. Does that mean derivative rights to the art?
Not derivative rights. I mean, we're an IP play here, so we keep the commercial rights to it, but you get the art and the NFT.
Great. Access to the club and the members only channels, which is Discord and whatever that becomes.
You got it.
Virtual edition of the comic that is already in production. Is that going to be, this comic, are you going to mint it? Is it going to be a secondary airdrop?
Yep, potentially an airdrop. You got it.
Potentially an airdrop. Love. Early release drop info for both NFT and our brand's cannabis products.
I will promise on the comic really quick, there will be no cost incurred for getting it though. You've already paid for it in being a Phantom holder. So it'll be an airdrop or it'll be brought directly to you. There will be no other minting costs. Which is
another great factor of using Flow blockchain is it's going to be cost effective for you to send that.
It is, yeah. And that said, a little bit of my play for PLP here as well is that the risk is so little. A lot of these like airdrops and free NFTs aren't near as exciting as what they once were that long ago, like 2 months ago, a month ago. There's just so many of them that you honestly have to think, like, is it worth my $80 in gas to put this on and hope that it hits one day? And so, that's my little play for PLP is there's really no risk for VFriends holders if this hits them, or if you guys, end up picking up the gas fee there's nothing. It's $40 is $40 if you get an access token to be a part of the access.
That's awesome.
Things. There's no additional cost.
So beyond that, we have intro to NFTs and tech. So I imagine that looks like resources in the Discord. about just like engaging in this world, which most of your customers are not aware of. Continued benefits and offerings as the community and value grows. And as our cannabis brand and NFT project grows the Phantom IP, as an owner of our first NFT release, this should add value to your token. Which, you know, it's so funny. I read a sentence like this and, you know, with all due respect, it sounds like it's not saying anything, because like if I didn't know VFriends, I'd be like, what does that mean? Right. But that is like actually one of the biggest things on this list. Like by buying this NFT and like, you know, this is not financial advice. I'm learning about this project in real time. Like I'm endorsing this person and therefore I would endorse this project, you know, but like, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. I would buy this because I'm enjoying this conversation, not because I want to make $1 million on it. But I
wish I could promise you guys that.
That would be amazing.
That's my play, but yes.
But if you look into Chase and you look into 710 Phantom and you believe that that business has the potential to grow, then that is where the value of this sentence comes in. That it's that the profile of the brand, if this 710 Phantom cannabis brand can become, I don't know, like the supreme of cannabis, then you having their first NFT is going to be a huge value play. Like, I know that I'm kind of preaching to the choir because VFriends understand this value proposition.
No, I appreciate though for other listeners, or when we clip this, that's absolutely right. A lot of people don't understand that. If you listen to Gary Vee, you do understand that. Even then, it's easy to say. Making that happen is much more difficult, but that's the big thing is we already have a business that's it's already married to it. We've already put our name on this NFT. It's stamped, you know, if we don't perform, it's going to hurt. If we don't perform for NFT customers, it hurts our cannabis brand. If we don't perform for our cannabis brand, it hurts our NFT community. And that IP play. And I really need to get in there and also add in the fact that you get a vote in where it goes, because you have a little bit more control than the standard IP play. And the cannabis brand definitely as it grows, but there's other things that we can do with this Phantom, because we do own rights to the Phantom. We own rights to, you know, the name for the comic, the digital art, as well as the logo, the look. So those things are things that we can play with and do other things with. And I think VFriends followers and or holders definitely understand that, but I just want to I can't stress it enough. You're right. That's what we're after. That's the long-term love. That's the diamond hands. That's the hodl, you know, right there is what we want.
Yeah, and that's the other benefit of running a community-driven project. And I feel like more and more projects are figuring this out, that if you sell your project at a low price point and just build a real community where you're supporting a product or service that has actual long-term legs, then you don't need to make bank on the sale of the NFT. You just win on the secondary sales, and then you just put that back into the project.
That's exactly right, man. And that's going to be a long burn for us too, right? Like I said, we have to build our own secondary marketplace, which could probably, you know, stifle that a little bit, but it's going to come around, and I'm sure of it. And by that time, I'm hoping that people see enough value. Maybe the first convention has happened and they're like, wow, like these guys didn't cheap out on it, you know? And that's really it. That's really what I want to show. That's what I want to prove. And that way people are taking it and giving it a second look, because there's so many projects out there to look at now. Yeah. I try and do it in my nighttime, you know, moments when I'm not dealing with the business and building out and the collection and outreach and support. But yeah, it's well,
the other thing that's cool about this, that like I want to get to the access tokens, but I want to make it clear to people that like I'm not trying to shill you this project. I'm giving Chase a platform to promote his project, and I love, like, one of my favorite things in the world is people who are passionate about their shit. But one thing that I'm just liking about it, and why I'm pretty much planning to buy it when it's out, so not financial advice, I'm just telling you what I'm doing, is because you have a fiat gateway for $40 for a core token. Like $40 isn't something that should just be like thrown around randomly. Like $40 matters to me. But when I'm spending more than $40 on gas for anything at all, like this feels like a really great play because I know I'm investing in a jockey, I'm investing in a person on top of the business. You know, I love that. I really love that you've kept this core token so cheap. Like,
Absolutely.
like not everybody can afford $40, but like if you ask me for $40 versus 0.01 ETH, it's a lot easier for me to pay you $40.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
like I'm really liking that aspect. And I think it's very
Thank you.
thoughtful.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that's what it's all about. Like I said, our customers that are already customers of ours, of our cannabis products, you know, that's about the cost, you know, between $40 to $60 for 1 of our grams of concentrates. And they get to get that free NFT. We felt that it was only fair that it goes the other way. Unfortunately, we don't get to send out a cannabis product in this this project just yet. You know, maybe years to come, borders drop and federal legalization happens, and now we can play that game a little bit and enjoy those benefits that could come. But I feel like it's only fair. You know, we want to get.
Are you thinking about doing added benefits for people in Washington, like to be able to get?
I mean, we will. I want to get on both sides. So we are. You see, we're touting definitely our uniqueness in what we are, especially with the Access Phantoms, and we're bringing people the opportunity to come here and be a part of that. And not everybody will be able to do that. We understand that
exactly,
which is totally understandable. But we also are looking deeply into the metaverse and the things that we can do. And the convention right now, this first one's probably going to be in Washington, but you know, we'd like to move around. There's other states that have smoke-friendly places that are cannabis-friendly. More and more legalization is happening. And right now we're in Washington state. That's not to say, you know, that we won't be in other states here to come, even before federal legalization, if we play our cards right.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to think about here and dig into, but we want it. We definitely are going to take care of our current customers. There's no doubt about it. They're supporting us as a brand before we had anything in a digital space to offer.
Right.
But I want it to be 100% understandable that anybody that's already in the NFT space or that is not in Washington, they are going to see the perks tenfold as well. Metaverse, digitally, you know, we are investing in a lot of different spaces and things that we can do and give value, and also, you know, get your commitment, get your involvement into something that matters. You know, like I mentioned that we have 140 different strains and we do pheno hunts, and you know, maybe we get to name a new strain, and then that ends up becoming something big. You know, seeds are sold everywhere. That's a little different now. It gets across in other ways. So there's a lot of different things that we can do and play with, and without spoiling anything in particular that we're playing with in our heads.
For sure.
I promise you, whether or not you're in Washington State, it'll be worth it. It'll absolutely be worth it, because we're gonna make it worth it. And we're dealing with, you know, as a cannabis company, you can't market. You know, I even on our NFT, like I try and put out an ad on Instagram, and that gets taken down immediately. You know, we can't ship. There's a lot of things we can't do. But think of that from your investment standpoint. If we are a company that's doing fairly decent at the moment with all of these things in place that don't allow us to do anything, imagine when those things get stripped back. We are able to do advertisement. We are able to market. We can ship to different states, maybe eventually import, export. Those things happen. I think that's why people are excited to invest in cannabis anyway. I think cannabis investment can be scary. I think, you know, not every cannabis owner or company knows.
It's still early for cannabis.
Even the big ones, like, it's fresh. The market is so underdeveloped. I won't lie to you about it. You know, it's not easy, but
yes,
it'll come, you know, and we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that we're around and people know about us.
Yeah. I want to quickly answer. I hear a beeping. I think it's probably on my end.
I think it's me. I think it's my Discord over here.
Yeah, I keep having that with Discord. I want to quickly answer David's questions. He came in a little late. So, how long has this project been alive from conception to now? I believe it was conceived just before May, and then in late May, early June, after getting into VFriends, Chase connected in the Coder Talk channel with their developer, and they were developing and thought they were going to be ready to launch in mid-July. but it got delayed until now, and they were going to launch tomorrow until there was a payment processing issue that will kind of push it to mid-late September. But so that's like
You got it. Yep.
That's like 4 months
You got
from
it.
concept
You got it.
to
From starting developing, it's probably been 3 months.
yeah.
And
That
we were in the hope of 5 weeks. So
yeah, well, all good things take time.
amen.
And that kind of answers your next question. So Chase found a developer with what was their name again?
Codes, if you want to check them out. They're partners in our project, but I know they do other contractor writing. Can't say enough good things about them. They know all blockchains, but I will tell you that we've been extremely happy with Flow and the work on Flow. It's been awesome.
Cool.
I'll let you know though after the release.
Yeah, we'll have you back. So
Awesome.
Let's talk about the Access Phantom. So this is very interesting. So like half of them are a pass to the convention, and then 90 of them are a pass forever to the convention.
You got it.
And then more and more and more merch giveaways, in-person sessions in Chicago or I'm sorry, in Washington or maybe somewhere else. 30-minute Zoom sessions and in-person tours and demos, and then social media shout out. So these are randomly minted, right? So people won't be able to say like they want the lifetime pass and mint it.
Right.
They're
Unlike the friends, those you're putting in for an access token.
Yeah, right up here.
You got it, and then it'll randomly be given to you. And at the very least, you're getting a one-time pass to our convention that will be well worth $300. I promise you that. Not to mention all the other things that you get along with this, and you're getting a rarer Phantom if you're in on rarity tools, traits, those types of things. So digitally you get something out of it, and then there's some other things that you can luck out and get, and it's just completely randomized. Everything about it, I don't even know the order at all. I'm gonna purchase a couple myself just to have some in the pocket. So
right, go long on yourself. So just so people are aware, like this is how the art will look. Drofig's a fan, so like I just saw the gold hat pop up here. If you got that hat, you got that perk. It's sort of a little bit like World of Women in that way, where they had like based on different skin colors and different earrings and necklaces, you got different curators club, royalty club. And I see, and this is just like this is like a 101. Like buy it, then it'll be minted, then you can view it, and then it'll be revealed. Okay, got it.
You got it. So, obviously we're onboarding people that know a lot about NFTs and some that probably know absolutely nothing. So this is just as simple as it gets. You select it, you mint it, which means you purchase it, and it applies to the blockchain, gets sent to your wallet. Then it's in My Phantoms up top, which will carry your wallet and will speak to our website. So it pulls those Phantoms in and you can actually view them. The reveal will happen either after sellout and or 5 days after we get that secondary marketplace up. Secondary marketplace probably at this juncture will be ready at the time of drop because it's being worked on as we speak.
Nice.
Depending on how this all shakes out with the payment, I don't know how much back end work we're going to have to do, but I know that we are working on getting the secondary marketplace ready as fast as we can. We plan 2 weeks after drop, but
so the secondary marketplace is going to be here on your Phantom Unearthed website.
You got it.
Cool.
Yep. You'll be able to list, trade, buy, also save on those fees from OpenSea that you get. Yeah. So it'll be beneficial to do it on our end anyway.
Great. So you've got like 1,000 tokens being given away.
You got it.
This looks great, man.
Thank you.
It looks like this took 3 or 4 months. Honestly, it looks like it took longer.
A lot of late nights, man. A lot of late nights. I won't lie.
Do you want to share any of this stuff? Should we go through this one by one?
Go for it, man. Yeah. I mean, it kind of just reiterates a lot of the benefits that you get, but let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. The number one focus of the Phantom Unearthed Collection Club is the long-term value of this project for our supporters, tied to our cannabis brand business. So it's important that we grow them both exponentially and for the long game. Being the first of its kind NFT plus cannabis collection, we are a historic project and plan to leave our mark. We want to build the most kick-ass cannabis meets NFT community this world will see. 2 dope industries that have the best people in it. Marrying these 2 awesome spaces is a no-brainer and will bring value to anyone that joins. Have you looked at the what is that project? The Cannabis Heads or something? There's
Crypto Cannabis Crypto Cannabis Club.
Crypto Cannabis Club. Is that the one with the guy with the really long face?
Yep.
Yeah. So are they not actually tied to a cannabis business? They're just
no. I mean, the CCC isn't a cannabis brand. It's not a cannabis name. It's not necessarily, as you can tell, an intellectual property play or built out for that or that way. With that being said, I have looked into it. I'm a fan of them, actually. I think what they're doing is cool. They have some gamification that they're working on the back end of that.
Cool.
So I mad respect to them. They are definitely a cannabis project. They actually launched not that like they beat us to the punch. I really wanted to get out before any other cannabis project, like Full Collection did.
Yeah.
They did and got out there, which props to them. But it's definitely different. It's not a brand. It's not that's our uniqueness, right? Like
and it's always fun to be first, but in the end it doesn't really matter. Like it is fun. It can give you a leg up. Like it's the same for me. Like I was the first VFriends fan page, but that doesn't mean that somebody can't come in and do better than me and
right.
Take the top spot.
I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but
it's not going to happen. It really could. Like
it is. That's true. Like, let's say, you got a little too busy with that NFT project that's on that back burner and somebody turned it up. I could see it, but otherwise, man, this community is awesome. I want to be a VFriend community. The VFriend community is where it's at. So big props to you, man.
It's fun to say that because like literally if a fan page pops up, it's on my radar within 24 hours.
Right.
You almost can't start a VFriends fan page without following me first. Like they'll either follow me and that's how I'll find out about them, or I'll see them using hashtags.
Yep.
And the vibe of VFriends and Gary Vee is also great that like, I want VFriends news to win. Like I would love to see them become bigger than us. And like, I will just funnel content to them because
I was going to say, the cool thing about that is it probably blend, right? Like,
it's a win-win situation.
You guys play off each other at that point.
Yeah. And like, that's not like that camaraderie. And like, we've been trying to like have a conversation for weeks of like, hey, how can we coordinate some stuff? That still hasn't happened. And yet there's so much camaraderie. Like I tag them in every story I post. It's like,
that's cool.
And I would love to see somebody new with like new fire for VFriends come into the space. Cause then I'd be like, great, like come on the show. Like let's pump your followers. Like let's go. That was a little off
on that. We're big collab people ourselves, man. Both in our cannabis business and hopefully our NFT business. It's inclusion, the right people that are doing it for the right reasons should always come together.
Agreed. Our cannabis business grows and our NFT collection gets stronger. Our OG community will continue to receive perks, members only benefits, being the first in the know for drops of both NFT and cannabis products, receiving limit release products digitally and physically, all the way up to cannabis convention ticket, or getting access to a smoke sesh with the Nug Butter creator himself. We want your NFT to be a ticket to something you like and want, which is why we built it this way. Have full ownership of your Phantom collectible. This is a rarity scale-based project that gives every owner a one-of-one digital collectible that has a different unique trait and combination. It should give every owner the opportunity to build equity in their art piece, buy, sell, trade, hopefully ultimately profit. Not to mention we worked hard on these Phantoms and think they're pretty damn fresh. And Flow blockchain. At the time of this drop, Ethereum has been king of the NFT space. While we are lovers of the Ethereum blockchain, we have chosen the Flow blockchain for our collection and community. The Flow blockchain cleans up gas issues, allows easy USD payments, and has a great customer service experience. We also believe that the project will be even more historically relevant being on the Flow blockchain because at this point, it is new and undervalued. That's very cool. And I kind of want to shift as we're wrapping up, I was expecting Sam Blade to join us around this time, so I'm going to message them really quick. And while I do, I would love to hear more about the convention. I can imagine that it's still maybe ephemeral. It's like in the ether. There's
It's in the infancy. It's in the infancy, but I have a pretty good idea, you know.
Oh, great. Sam just jumped on. Perfect. Hey, awesome. Sam, welcome. I'll bring you up in just a minute.
The convention, we want it to be NFT meets cannabis, just like our project, you know. We have connections within this industry that we're already in within the cannabis industry of really interesting, cool things, you know, head shops, retailers, bud tenders, interesting products other than ourselves. Like I said, partnerships, collabs, different brands. We hope to have the same thing in the NFT side, just really awesome projects that we buy into or that buy into us that want to be a part of it. So that's it in a nutshell there. We want to also have a pretty exciting musical guest there, some keynote speakers within both industries, and really just merge and mesh the two awesome industries. I mean, I really feel like it can be something special. They blend so well to one another, the standard, like, stereotypical person from each, right? Like, if you guys probably noticed looking at different collections, like most collections are very 420 friendly. So it just makes a lot of sense to have these two together. And those that aren't already in the NFT space, like, man, I preach about this on my off time all the time. Like, I'm trying to get people involved in it. I'm like, there's a coolness factor. There's community to be had there. Here, there's also money to be made here if you do enough homework and just obsess over it. Like, there's so much opportunity.
The obsession is required. Like,
absolutely.
If you want to make money, the obsession is required.
Yeah.
You can get lucky, but like, if anybody's trying to make 24, 72-hour profits, like, the obsession is required.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Or even a long-term profit has to have a good educated guess at the very least, right? Like, but it takes a lot of that, and we want to see that happen. You know, I think you and I can agree that no matter what, this is definitely the future. NFTs are the future. Cannabis legalization is down the road. Like, both these things are happening, and NFTs, maybe they won't be called NFTs. You know, who knows what it will be down the road? But the technology, the collectible, the artwork, those things are never going away, and the blockchain is making sure of it, right? Like, it's going to be here to stay, and the utilization of it is only going to grow. And that's the part that really excites me. Like, I can't wait until, you know, silly things like, everybody that has a phantom with a blunt in his mouth gets a free joint sent out to you guys just because you're holding right now. Like, that would be so awesome and fun to do. Not right now, we can't, but we can do similar things to that. You know, maybe we start doing a retailer tour, or, you know, maybe similar to Gutter Cats, they're doing a convention in Las Vegas. Like, we can gather, we can congregate, we can be a community together anywhere, digitally or physically. So it's just awesome, you know, similar to Gary's restaurant, you know, the NFT access to a restaurant. There's so much utilization that can happen here, so much access and fun that can happen. And we want to bring, you know, you see kind of our, what they call the roadmap. We didn't quite put it down that way because they're more just promises. You know, this is what we know we're going to do, but we want to add to that. And as you and I have kind of talked, it's evolved even since the beginning. You know, those members channels, they're going to have how-tos for NFTs. They're going to have how-tos for growing. They're going to have, you know, votes. We want to continue to add value to token holders so that they're happy to be a part of it, and they want to keep collecting, and they go up in value, which only, of course, helps us and ultimately hopefully helps them. And it's a perfect play. We're all partners in this together.
That's great, man. I mean, congratulations on making a move. You know, I think
we're so close.
That's the thing that I keep coming back to for, like, especially people who are obsessed with the space and are like going deep into the community.
Yep.
To like find their place in a project, whether you're the operator or you're the artist or you're the marketer or you're the community manager or whatever it is that you want to be doing. Like, everybody should be getting involved in a project and creating a project,
I
because
agree, man. If that's what they want to do, it is feasible. Like I've told everyone, I'm not a coder. Like I have ideas, I have creation, I have thoughts, I have an implementing plan to put in place. But at the end of the day, I didn't know how to do that. I was hoping it was going to be like, I think NFT 42 wants to make it nameless, wants to make it simple and easy for people to kind of plug and play these things.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that for people, but that doesn't mean you can't do it now. You can definitely go out there, start talking about it, putting it into existence. I gave you a couple of good resources within the VFriends community. Zay codes, hit me up. I'm happy to help you. Again, not a coder, but I've talked to a few now. Like I definitely, as that comes up, I'm more than happy to share that with anybody that's interested.
And what is your Discord? Are you 710 Phantom?
My Discord, you're talking about my username?
Yeah.
Phantom Chase.
Cool.
I'm trying to change everything over to that too, for obviously this project purpose. So
yeah, I always forget StreamYard has all these cool tools, and I rarely am prepared enough to use them all. Like this, boom.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And Phantom Unearthed is our channel name or our server name. So you can find us there. The website has everything though. You saw it on there in the upper right corner. You can see you can join our Discord from phantomunearthed.com. You can go check out the cannabis website, which has our products, tells more about the brand and the things that we do. So there's a lot of resources straight from that website that'll get you started, and you can start doing your homework. Decide if we're worth it.
Yeah, and please do your homework.
Yeah. Amen, man.
Yeah,
so many projects out there.
Yeah, it's very concerning how much money is going into projects that, from my point of view, are absolutely worthless. But my it's not my opinion that matters. It's like what's behind it. Like I don't have time, and nobody has time to research every single project that's coming out. Not really, unless you're either. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's no way for every project that's coming out to know the jockey behind it, know the game plan. Amen to that, man. Like it's
so like
overwhelming.
I think this is great to like be able to actually like transparent creators, like the people behind projects. Like that's one of those check marks. Like
thank you, man.
If I'm gonna ape into a project and I'm gonna like do minimal homework, like the things that I want to see are like active Discord. I want to have some transparency on who, or at least accountability on who the creators are.
Right.
I actually like the artwork and that there's a long-term vision. Like I'm just sort of naming that off the top of my head. Like, if your project has those four things, then
you're interested, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll either go deeper or I'll have to manage my own FOMO and be like, can I risk this much to see what happens? That's a personal thing. Like just generally for people, like that you should create your own checklist of like, what does a project that you like, you believe is successful already have that gives you confidence in it, and make that your checklist every time you're looking at a new project.
Right.
Do they have a website that looks professionally made? Do they have a plan for providing benefits for long-term holders? Do they, whatever it is for you, whether it's airdrops or voting rights or whatever, know that for yourself. So that way, when a great project like this one maybe comes up,
we really hope to be. I mean, we will be. I promise you, man. We are going to work tirelessly to make this worth at least $40. Damn. I mean, if I can't do that, I'm really doing something wrong, man. But no, I mean, I want to warn everybody. Like you mentioned, getting to know like the Discords, the communities, spending a little time in there. And I know it's daunting because you have 8,000 DMs coming your way. You have, all these channels set up that you want to look through, but getting to know, one thing that's so awesome about you is you're very approachable. Like I DM'd you, you got back to me. That's how I work. That's how I operate. I take the time to speak to anybody that wants to speak to me. And you get a lot of that in Discords too, as well as the community, how excited people are. Ours, we're definitely in our infancy. We started our Discord, I think maybe 10 days ago. max, not even of actually inviting. So, we want to get as many of you V-Friends fans in there because I know you're awesome. I'm a part of you, so I hope you guys do join, bring value to that community. We haven't, what's been talked about quite a bit lately is in the NFT lounge. Finally, people are starting to talk about projects they're interested in, trying to bring value to that, give those types of the wisdom that you just brought right there. And like, what do you look for? What are you interested in? What type of art is cool now? And the NFT space just moves so rapid. It's like you should talk it over with people and see what's working and what's not.
Yeah, that's a great note to end on. I want to shift over to Sam and respect his time. He's been waiting. But I also will want to let you know we're doing the Clubhouse weekly news tonight. And after the news, we always highlight whoever was the guest previous. So if you're free and you want to come into the Clubhouse at 9 and in about an hour, would love to introduce you to those folks.
I'll be there. I usually try and catch your VCAP anyway. So
cool.
As long as nothing's going on with the kiddos over here, I'll be there.
I was wondering what you were looking at.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Oh man, I have got a 4, 8, and 12-year-old.
Oh boy.
So
wow.
busy.
That's a lot. Okay. Well,
but an amazing wife and partner in the business too that helps me out with that and everything else. So
awesome. We couldn't do it without him.
You can check out when you go to Phantom Unearthed, check out the team. That's everybody that's involved in this, and get to know everybody there. I wish Andy could have joined me today, but love to them. Wouldn't be happening without them. So, and we can always come back. Thank you for taking the time.
It's my pleasure. You guys can always come back.
Thank you.
When you're ready. Maybe when it gets to launch.
You got it. I will do. Let's get Sam on here.
Cool, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, man.
Oh, Sam's ready. Let's go.
Yes, sir. I am ready.
How are you, bud? Later, Chase.
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Welcome. I saw you it looked like you were cleaning your room while you were waiting. I love the multitasking.
Yeah, just make sure I'm staying active. Can't sit still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Me too. Actually, I'm like under the table. I'm doing this. Like I can't do it with my. When you like jitter your leg. Mm-hmm. Nobody sees, but I'm like doing this.
You're just always moving.
Yeah, I get it.
That's how my mind is. My mind just keep like going like that. It's like it never stops. I'm always like thinking of stuff.
Dude, I'm really excited to talk to you because I know Alex did like a live stream with you, and I only like caught bits and pieces of it. But it seems like you're like a highly creative thinker person, and I'm excited. I don't know where this conversation is going to go, so forgive me. Like I'm just I'm like unprepared in that sense. But like, please feel free to lead. Like I'm sure you already got to somewhere with Alex, and if you want to pick up from there, like I'll catch up, or if there's a project you've got going on, like. But I'd love if you could just like reintroduce yourself to the audience, to me, and maybe give me a little bit of context on how you found V-Friends.
All right, so my name is Sam Blade, from Detroit, Michigan. I just graduated from Michigan State University. Got a degree in biomedical laboratory science, and I'm working on growing an investment advising firm that I started up. But as far as with NFTs, I got into NFTs back in February, and someone told me about it, and it was like, hey, look, it'd be cool to like if you was to like buy them and like try to resell them, they may be worth something in the future. I was like, oh, well, I could just make them and build my name as an artist. So then from there, I just start like just making NFTs. I just start like minting like just random stuff, just trying to see how it works and everything, and just start like designing art stuff. So I started there back in February. Took some breaks. I made some other NFTs on like the Binance Smart Chain. Those didn't really sell as much. Then I switched to the Ethereum blockchain because I realized everybody was using Ethereum more than anything else. So then from there, that's where I started making sales. From there, then I went from Ethereum to like hit to knock, or they call it hands. A lot of people do. So now I'm on about 5 or 6 different NFT marketplaces.
Amazing, very cool. And did that start right in February, or when did you start creating?
So it's been a journey. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. What up to the 10 folks here? Thanks for hanging around, everybody.
So I started in February. I really didn't take off until really last month. That's when my sales really start to kick in, and I started like building a community around like my projects.
Can I look at one of your projects? Like, what's a web page I can see you at? Should I OpenSea or?
Let's start with. I want to start with Hence to knock. So that website is spelled HICE TNUNC.xyz. I'm gonna post it in a chat. There you go. It's on the chat.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. So now, what I have to do is I have to give you this code. So this is a new platform they just developed not too long ago.
Okay.
So you click on Explore. So it's like the top right hand corner where it says sync at. Don't click on sync. Click on the bars. Now the code I just typed in the chat. You want to copy and paste that code, and it'll take you directly to the NFT I created.
Awesome. Where do I copy it? Here? Oh.
Right. Yep. Right.
Oh,
so
wow.
The one to the far left. Oh no, the one to the far left is mine.
Nice.
Right. So that is one that I sold out within like 24 hours. I just dropped it on his website, told people about it, and it just went quick. So I kept like 3 for myself just in case, it grows big one day. So this art is based on Tezos versus Ethereum. So Tezos is another blockchain. It's very similar to Ethereum, but it's of like Ethereum's and Tezos, right? So for one Tezos is about like $4.80. The price fluctuates because it's crypto, but it's way cheaper. The gas fees are cheaper. The website is a little hard to navigate on, but like once you get used to it, it's really easy to get. So this piece right here I designed was inspired by Courage the Cowardly Dog, one of my favorite cartoons, and this is like a nostalgic memory for a lot of people because we all remember when this ghost figure came on the episode and we was all scared of our pants and stuff because like it was so like scary. So I made this piece on Photoshop. I just made it rotate a little bit, extrude it,
Yeah.
So that's one of my pieces. The other piece I have is on OpenSea. So OpenSea, you just want to type in Afro CryptoPunks. No, you got to type in a space between Afro and crypto.
Is that a fake account of your project?
No, I think it's another account. It's very it's different. So I think you click on either one of those. No, the V4. Yeah.
Nice.
So those are one of my most popular NFT collections. So it's a collection of, it's going to be 100 different figures, Afro figures. And the purpose of this project is to, spread culture and awareness of like Afro Americans and just Afro people in general of our accomplishment, our greatness. And I use these popular figures to kind of represent that.
Yeah, I love that they're based on real people. Like these are basically CryptoPunk portraits of influential people of color, right?
Yeah. So like that figure right there is Beyonce, and that outfit is from like the 2013 Super Bowl, I believe. That one was really hard to make because of her hair. And like how I design these, I usually use this like square blocks to like piece them up. Biggie Smalls is the one to the far right. That one I made 2 days ago and I put it on auction. I had a lot of people who's interested in it. Still trying to get the word out about the auction. So I made Biggie, Tupac, Sada Shakur, Huey P. Newton, Michelle Obama, Michael Jackson. Right now I'm working on Prince. That's going to release sometime tomorrow night. And it's like different Afro figures who represent our culture and the things we like as far as music, acting, things of that nature.
Very cool. And are these Afro version 3 also yours?
Yeah, so I think OpenSea automatically generated that for some reason. I have no idea why.
They did that for me too. Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
I don't know why either. I have a collection, and then one day I looked at my collections tab, and I had like 5 collections I didn't create.
Yeah, so that was I was a little confused on that, but then I realized, hold on, wait, they did this so other people like recreated. So then I went off and I made like Black CryptoPunks, just in case someone try to make like a re-rock of it. So I just own like that name itself.
Oh, smart.
Mhm.
I didn't think about that. That's really smart. Of like, so you have this Afro CryptoPunks collection, but just so that there wasn't a fake collection, either taking your idea or creating, like,
Mhm.
if you start to pop, starting to get people to buy fake versions of it, you reserve the collection name for Black CryptoPunks.
Right, and something else I'm doing, I'm like dropping them one by one, so someone can't just copy and make a generative project out of it. So it's like
Mhm.
if someone was to create, let's say, African American Black CryptoPunks or something, like change up the name,
Yeah.
they still have a hard time copying because I'm releasing these one by one, and people are like slowly learning about the project I'm doing. I'm building my name, I'm attaching my name to the project, so then they know it's authentic from the true artist.
Awesome. Very cool. Um, and what, tell me a little bit more about the, well, actually, I'm curious about the investment advisor, that how you went from a scientific field into an investment advisor business. But I'm also really interested in what building community means for you as an NFT artist. So if you want to take on either of those.
All right. Well, as far as building a community, so building a community as an NFT artist or just in general, it's about um finding something that you have in common with someone, right? And
Mm,
connecting with them on that level and like just sharing that information, like how do y'all meet in the middle with that, you know? And that's how you build community, because communities are built from like common interests. And
mm,
without that, you know, you can't really grow a community with that. So like with my community I have, it's like we all have some sort of common interest, whether it be crypto, whether it be music, whether it be sports or something. We find that common interest and we just meet about it, discuss about it. It's like a conversation that goes on, right? So just finding the middle ground with people is the best way, and one of the most common ways to build community.
hmm. Love that. I think I asked that question because maybe I feel like it's taken for granted recently. Like
Mm.
like it's easy to say like community is what drives a successful project, but there's not a formula to creating a community, in the same way there's not a formula to, being in any relationship.
Mhm.
And like, I think we're in this renaissance now where artists are reimagining and expanding their idea of what a connection with the audience means. Like, I know for me personally, like, I have a background in theater, so I view every performance as like a new relationship, and
Mhm.
there's conversation and there's give and take and there's listening and there's all of these things. And it's a very different thing to do that digitally.
Mhm.
Even on this capacity, like, it's different for me to connect with you on this platform than if we were on Instagram and I could feel like I was like, it was Instagram Live is a little more face to face. You know,
Yeah.
this is more like Zoom and everything else. And like, I think ultimately, like, communities and relationships, or not relationships, but communities and large legacies are built one by one by one by one. Like, I know that, like, if I post something and more than 100 people interact with it, that's not as impactful as like me helping one person, like, with whether it's tech support or answering a question. Like, that person's going to be more thankful than, and it's going to I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the value of one is underrated.
Mhm.
And like you said, community is like finding that something that you have mutually in common. And I'm
Mhm.
really curious, like, I'm just really curious about what that's going to mean in the future, because it
Mhm.
feels like we're moving to more authentic commonalities instead of superficial commonalities.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So like, I'm not for sure if you're aware of something called like Twitter Spaces, right? So it's like this
Yeah.
platform, yeah, so like a podcast platform. So like you have the very large rooms, then you have like the very small rooms, whether it be like 5 people, sometimes two, or just one person in there. So I always like to go for like the small rooms because that's how you make a real connection with someone. Because it's not like you on a stage and you have to
Yeah.
be like a certain figure. You meeting this person for the first time. It's like a one-on-one conversation. You get to build that like
It
true
feels
connection.
intimate.
So that's the biggest thing about building a community. Like it had to be authentic. It's not really a system. Like here's like the checklist, X them all off. because then at that point it's not really authentic, not really trying to get to know someone. You have to
Yeah.
like really want to get to know someone, just to know that person, and that's how a community is built from there. Because like when you start that with one person, and then one person like spread the word, then you meet someone else, and now that connection built the second person. Now the word keep being spread. Now you're building uh, a community of people who found common interest with you because you connected with that one person. And it's like multiple one-on-one relationships with a large group of people, and it comes as a collective at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then there's that X factor of like you having authentic relationships one by one with people allows for those people you've connected with to connect with each other. And that sort of
Right.
like seals the bond where it's like, okay, now we're all sharing this. Yeah, this is a tangent. I totally want to get back to your work, but like, I really feel like this notion of community is really integral to what's being developed through the blockchain technology, right? It's like in the same way that content on different, like there are more social platforms and more content avenues because there are different niches of people that are interested, right? Like there's niches, there's so many niches on TikTok, for example, that I never see. And I just see like my little corner of TikTok. And there's some parallel there in the way that like communities are actualizing themselves on the blockchain through NFT projects that are serving their needs or providing them value. And yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's kind of a new frontier there as social media has obviously cemented itself in society, but like it's more important how you use the communication tools than what the tools are. I don't know. I'm not sure there's a point in there. I'm just fascinated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Go ahead.
No, I was saying like I hear a water hose.
Oh, that's my fiance. She's using the sink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what else? So what's your connection to Gary V and V Friends? Did we say that already?
I forgot how I came across want to be a V friend page, but I just remember one day I was just scrolling on social media and I seen a post about NFTs. I was like, oh, cool, someone who know more about NFTs than I do. So then I just instantly messaged a page like, hey, can you help me out on some tips or whatnot, right? And I think someone gave me a tip saying like, hey, you can like do something like an airdrop to someone's wallet, and that can be helpful for like promotion
Oh,
and
you're that
advertisement.
guy. I remember. That was me. Yeah, I remember that.
And you
And
was like, you were saying
yeah.
like you didn't know too much about it. I was like, you just gave me a good like gem. That's a good tip right there. So then I did that. It's this guy called Billy Marcus. He's one of the creators of Dogecoin, right? So I airdropped him one of my NFTs, and he was like, "Cool, thanks." And like this dude got like 200,000 followers on like Twitter, and he responded to me. So I was like, "Oh shit, what I just do? Whoa!" You feel me? So I was pretty excited about that. He still had an NFT in his wallet, like now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So to give the story to everybody else, I totally remember this now. Sam messaged me and he's like, hey, it looks like you know about NFTs. Can you give me any tips for marketing? And I was like, I don't know that I'm not an expert in this. I don't know that I know anything. And then off the top of my head, I started giving suggestions. And then, yeah, your response was like, sounds like you know a thing or two.
Yeah.
And one of the suggestions was take your NFTs and airdrop them to influential people that are in your market because it's a public facing wallet. Other people are looking at Jay-Z's wallet and Gary V's wallet. And, you know, as different wallets get exposed to be tied to different celebrities, people are tracking them, not just for like the buy signals, but even just for the clout to know what's going on. So that's amazing to hear that played out for you.
Yeah, it did well. But after a while, I kind of learned not to do that as much. Because I dropped one Billy Marcus, and I dropped another one Gary V. One of his Ethereum addresses. But then I went on Twitter Spaces, and I heard other people how they was saying how they got tired of people just randomly dropping like random NFTs in their wallet addresses. That's like to realize, oh no, wait, that could be kind of annoying, especially if it's something that you never even talked to the person before, and just some random dropping like, okay, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
And I thought about the part how Ethereum gas fees are like expensive. So like, well, if you want to just send it back to get out your collection, or when you just want to burn it because you don't want it, now that's a financial cost. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this as much. But if it's something that I really want to give to someone because I want them to have it, and also for like, you know, publicity, then yeah, do it.
Yeah. And this is an interesting conversation, and it's come up multiple times. Like I sent several NFTs unsolicited to people in Gary's network as part of my sorcerer application. And and I had a conversation on Twitter about this as well, where someone was like, please, like, stop sending me these things. Like, they're non-transferable, and it's so annoying, because he was getting sent tokens on Wax, and I guess there are certain Wax NFTs that are non-transferable, so they can't be transferred out. I feel like it's really a fine line, and comes down to the intentions of the artist. Like, if you're just trying to like clout chase and like grab attention and not provide value, then yeah, I would suggest that you rethink your strategy. But like, and you know, obviously the quality of your art is going to be subjective. But I think if you're sharing something that you find beautiful or true, then I think I think I'm in support of that. I think I'm in support of artists having this ability to share their art with people in the same way that you can tweet at Gary Vee, you can send him an NFT. But to your point, if Gary Vee doesn't want that in his wallet, he either has to send it to a burn wallet and pay gas for it, or he can just hide it on OpenSea. But that hiding it on OpenSea doesn't take it out of his wallet. Yeah. And, you know, we're not at a point where that's a security concern, but eventually it could be. Yeah. So what I've arrived at is, like, if I'm going to be sending out an airdrop of things, to do it on Polygon so that it's free for me to send and it's free for them to burn if they don't want it. Minting Polygon OpenSea. But like, it's an interesting conversation. Like, I think we will see NFT spam sooner than later.
True, especially for like companies that want to like market and advertise to people. This goes just airdrop stuff all the time. Pray about like
I've already seen them. Like in Logan Paul's wallet, some guy sent like a letter to him, and the NFT was just like a screenshot of the letter. And then there was another NFT he sent afterward, correcting a typo that he had in the letter. I was like, this is the world, you know. And I've even gotten a couple like text NFTs with a message that I like didn't really understand, but I was like, you know, it's bound to happen. It will happen. And Gary says this too. He says marketers ruin everything. And it will just be up to the market to determine how to deal with that. Or people will be more secretive about their actual wallets.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, something I don't never post on social media. It's like my wallet address. I post like the first like 2 digits, so they know it's an Ethereum wallet, and the last 4 digits, so then people could confirm it from there. But I don't want like just random drops of stuff in my wallet. I also don't want people like tracking my ID address on the blockchain. But then again, just so people can verify that you are the artist of your NFT work, you have to have that public. So then it's kind of like, just have a separate wallet. So something I do, I have like, I got to go through like a lot to transfer like proceeds to my private wallet, so people don't track how much I have in this particular wallet, you know. So I use like a cold storage device for that, to store like our proceeds. Then my public address is like just everyone can see it, so they know it's me.
Smart. Yeah, I'm a big fan of cold storage. Everyone should really get educated on it. Just to like, every piece of content, every stream requires this caveat here: education and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Never share your seed phrase. Don't share your screen. Verify who you're talking to before you give them any sensitive information. Please be very mindful in the crypto space. Like, it's just dangerous out there. And like, I don't want people to be afraid, but you need to know that if somebody has your seed phrase, they can steal all of your assets in a fraction of a second, really, really fast. And the reason I recommend a hardware wallet, even though I can't tell you what to do with your money, is having a hardware wallet like that requires a physical authorization of anything going out in or not in, anything going out of the whatever wallet address is associated with it. And so you know, your seed phrase will still make you vulnerable if they had it. But actually, I don't know how that works. If somebody got the seed phrase to your hardware wallet, I guess they would have to import it into another hardware wallet. They wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, so if they have the seed phrase to your hardware wallet, you're screwed. Because they can practically just type it into another new wallet. let's say if you give me your seed phrase to your cold storage wallet, I just type it in here and I can access all your crypto.
Right, exactly. So like the seed phrase is the big secret, but like with a software wallet, it just you can actually be secure with a hardware wallet.
Yeah, it's way more secure because and all a hardware wallet do is store your private keys, right? That's all it does, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have a hot wallet, which is like a software, well, I won't say a software wallet. Well, hot wallet, it's like a MetaMask or like one of that wallets on your phone. Those are more susceptible to being hacked because it's like it's on the internet. So like this is not connected to the internet unless it's plugged up to your computer. So you have to worry about someone trying to hack it. They need to have access to your seed phrase to get access to your wallet. Without that, then they can't have it. Something I always tell people is to memorize your seed phrase. Like once you write it down one time, and like after that, after you memorize it, just destroy it. Do not give it away. You want to have it memorized, like how you memorize your ABCs, because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, and the seed phrase is typically about somewhere between 11 to 24 phrases. So it's like we can memorize. Yeah. We're capable of memorizing. It's just about putting in the work to do it. Because
it's interesting. I've actually heard the opposite advice, to not memorize it so that you can't be targeted for your assets. Like Vitalik, for example, he's got loads and loads of Ethereum, but he doesn't know his seed phrase, because otherwise, if he did, someone could kidnap him and torture it out of him. That he actually keeps his seed phrase on an analog piece of paper and then distributes it to different places, so that even if you were to get one of them, you wouldn't, he's the only one who knows the order of the seed phrase, but he doesn't know the words of it.
But then again, he's still Vitalik. So anyone can just kidnap him, ask him for a whole bunch of money anywhere, So it wouldn't matter if he knows seed phrase or not. Because all right, look, either you give us your seed phrase or we're gonna peel off your nails one by one. After the first nail, he's gonna squeal about something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's grim, but it's sort of like prepare for the best case or the worst case scenario. Like someone in the Clubhouse was saying that if you can be hypnotized, that if you didn't memorize your seed phrase, you could be hypnotized to access that memory and say it. I have doubts about the legitimacy of that, but regardless.
I mean, yeah, but what's the chance of someone walking down the street, I'm gonna hypnotize you, dunk,
Well, I think the chance now is different than the chance in 10 years. A lot of people will keep their wallets that they created now for a very long time.
I mean, but how many people bank accounts get hacked? Because it's kind of like, it's not like a password. You want to think it as a password, but it's like if someone get access to your bank account, right? They could transfer money, or to your debit card. They could transfer money from your bank account to your to their account, withdraw money. So it's kind of like almost similar, unless you just load it with crypto. But the average person not really that loaded with crypto.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure where I fall on that. I haven't memorized my seed phrase, but you have.
Yeah, I know about her.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so far I got about 18 to 20 different wallets. I only memorized 3 different wallets so far. But those wallets I memorized are off the blockchain. No one knows about them. They can't even trace it because I made some maneuvers so it can't be traced back to it's me,
Right. You've sent it to other side wallets to go back to where they'd ended up.
Something like that. I can't really say. Exactly.
Yeah, totally. No, I didn't mean to ask you something sensitive. I'm interested in this because I would be concerned that I would forget, especially if I'm starting to memorize multiple seed phrases. I would be concerned that I would forget the order or, mix up one seed phrase with another. But
it's all about training your mind. You got to train your mind to we memorize how to ride a bike and how to drive a car. It's all muscle memory. So it's kind of work the same. So if I know if I'm on this Ledger wallet here, then I go to MetaMask. Those are 2 different wallets. And the Fox helped me remember that it's not the cold storage device. So now it's a whole different seed phrase I have to type in. But for MetaMask, you just type in a password. But worst case scenario I know how to adjust to that particular scenario.
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome. So where should we go from here, Sam?
Let's see. I want to talk about the auction a little bit. Then I want to go talking about Kukai and Tezos just a little bit.
Okay.
So the auction, this is So something I realized about an auction, this is like the first time I'm hosting an auction. The
Mhm.
biggest things about auctions is publicity. You know, you have to like get the word out there. People have to know about it. Before this, it was just like people just stumbling across my crypto punks. Like, oh, I want to buy it, you know. But now it's like you have to be consistent,
Right.
like marketing and advertising behind it because there's some people who's watching it, but they'll forget, you know. So you gotta like keep reminding them and like spreading the word more. Because it's gonna take like one bid for other people to like, okay, I'm a bid too. It's like monkey see, monkey do. So far I
Okay.
haven't got any bids. It's been 24 hours now, and you know, I'm just like trying to get the word spread out more, so I can
Yeah, and people are
keep
watching. Like you
advancing.
can tell people are watching it because you've got a couple. I'm gonna favorite it just so somebody thinks that more people are watching it. You know, like that's very interesting. Like you can see the views, you can see a few people are watching it, but nobody's made the move. And you're right, it is sort of a situation where you don't want to place the first bid, right?
Right.
I don't think I have enough to bid on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so like the floor price for all my Afro crypto punks are point 0.1. These two, Biggie and Chadwick Bossman, those are the two that I put on auction because I had like one person like came into one of my podcasts one day and said, "Hey, I like this figure. Can you make it?" Like it's other
Mhm.
people who would be interested in it too. So like make it, let's like negotiate on a fair price on it. You know, so I made it. The person then like follow up on like claiming it for the price I listed it for. So I was like, well, since it's like people who's interested, I'm just gonna place on the bid and you know let the whoever really want it wins. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what I did so far. So even if someone don't bid on it now, I'm gonna place in a bid probably for like another 5 days because at first I did 2 hours, then I did 3 days. 3 days worked better. The next time I'm gonna do 5 days. No one place a bid. But the starting bid is point 0.1. I think the reserve price is like 1 Ethereum.
Right. Yeah, and you can accept accept the price under the reserve
Yeah, I believe so.
because when the auction ends, I think the reserve price for all auctions on OpenSea is 1 Ethereum. Like you can set it higher, but you can't set it lower.
Mhm.
But the bid is still an open wrapped ETH offer. So at the end of 3 days, if the bid is 0.9, then that offer is still open and you can accept it.
Mhm.
But I think I think the offer is automatically accepted if it gets over 1 ETH. I'm not sure. I actually haven't auctioned anything off on OpenSea.
Yeah, well, if that happened, I'll take it. You know, every
Yeah,
time, like if no one bid on it, I'm happy with the point 0.1 price. You know, I just want to make sure everyone have a fair chance of getting these punks because sometimes I drop punks, don't really put that much publicity around it. Some people are like, oh man, I want that one, like the Tupac one. I had so many people saying the Tupac one, and like
yeah,
even last night, someone tried to place a bid on it, but the person didn't like the person was actually in my space and they didn't want to sell it because they feel like it's going to be worth it more in the future.
yeah. I mean, I would have to agree with them. Like I think specifically Nipsey here, like this person listing it for 28 ETH is smart.
Yeah, he know what time it is, and like even like someone listed Drake for 100 ETH. And the cool thing about this is like I'm releasing these piece by piece. So once the full 100 collection is done, I feel like people will be more willing to trade these even more. But right now
Yeah,
it's like we got 13 left. It's like 87 more to go. Um, but people who usually see these as oh crap, I got to get one because they know what time it is, you know, because it's still
yeah,
early.
yeah. It's very early. Who's this one? Oh, Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the first four I made, it was like my first time ever making NFTs. The cool thing
that's
about it,
why I
these are
did
like the
that.
first four to sell because people are like, hold on, wait, these are the Genesis set. Like these are the first ones, these will be the most valuable. So people just grab these really quick. And plus the figure names I made Asada Shakur, that's my number one. Huey P. Newton, number two, Simone Biles, number three, then Steph Curry's number four.
Did you see that Steph Curry bought a Bored Ape this week?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, he's in the space.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because when I first made that, this was like the beginning of the month. I tagged him in it, you know. So I'm not for sure if he's seen the NFT of it of himself,
Hmm.
but he's aware of it, you know. So maybe if I tag him again, like, hey, look at this punk of you, you know. But the thing about it, the person who got the Steph Curry punk, she's fully aware at how NFT works, so she probably won't sell it. There's a lot of people who have these who own these NFTs and they're like just holding it for the long term.
That's awesome. That's great that you have people who are like so convicted in your early community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Like, I want people who find value in this. Like, they buy it and they feel like it's worth 3 times the amount that they paid for it. And really, I feel like all these should be trading for at least somewhere between 100 to 1,000 ETH. That's how I personally feel about it. Like, because I feel like this is like state of the art type art. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because like a lot of people look at CryptoPunks like, oh, it's just generative, it's a repetitive. But it's like, no, like look at the details of it. Like Drake is over here, he have a whole fade. Like, how many CryptoPunks do you see? Especially the Afro CryptoPunks have a fade. It's not that many. Biggie have a nice hairline. Michael Jackson have the jail curl with a nice hairline. Michelle Obama here. They look at Beyonce here. It's like it's a nice little mixture of how her hair actually is in real life. It's like it's actual details to these Afro punks and how we see these people in real life that makes them so unique. And it's like something like this, it can't really be copied. You can't just write a code that's gonna like copy this set. It's gonna be too hard to do.
Yeah, I love that you're so. I love that you believe so much in your project. It's awesome. Yeah. What do you think is your like? When do you anticipate you'll get through the collection?
I'm anticipating by October 9th.
Oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah. So at one point I was doing 2 a day. Like the Drake. Which one is number 5?
Number 5 is Drake.
What's number 6? Number 6 is Tupac. Yeah,
no,
Drake
number 6 is Megan Ruth Pete.
Yeah, Megan and Stallion. So Megan and Stallion and Drake, I got through those in 8 hours. It was like 9 hours total. Michael Jackson took me Michael Jackson took me 18 hours because I messed up. The whole file got deleted. I had to restart. So I put some real work in that one. But these punks are taking me more time, and I'm finding like a solid around 8 to 12 hours taking to make one punk. So if I step it up a notch, I probably can finish a punk in about 6 to 10 hours. So I probably can knock out like 2 a day, and it depends on which ones I'm making, because they are unique.
Yeah. And have you picked out all of the figures yet?
I do have a list of figures. I haven't really made a finalized decision of which one I'm gonna make like the next 100, but something I do. I just look at my list and I see what people are asking for. Then I mint them based on that, based on the demand on the market.
I don't know if this is where you're headed with this project, but what's exciting to me is the potential derivatives from each person. Like you're creating art of Afro figures who are so influential. Each in their own way. Literally are worth a full collection. You could do so much, and I don't know if this is where you plan to go, or maybe bring the community into this, or if you've thought about it, but it would be very interesting to see what does a Biggie collection look like once you're done. Do you do the Biggie character in a lot of different NFT art styles? Is it like generative versions of this Afro punk, but with different traits, like different versions of Biggie? Or I don't know. Have you thought about the future of the collection?
Yeah, so I did think of a few derivatives. One of them is like the Afro cartoons. So it's like all the cartoons you can think of from that are like Afro figures. So like even if a cartoon mainly had like white characters, we'll pull out the black characters from like, for example, Codename Kid Next Door, they had number 5 in there. So number 5 and number 5 sister, we'll like make an art piece on that, and a unique art piece. How we see a little different than the cartoon. That's one thing. Then another thing I was thinking about is like the Afro athletes, just having like a set of like NBA players, football players, because something that haven't been done yet is the NFL players that haven't been done yet. All the legendary Afro, the first like black quarterback, the first black wide receiver, the best one, the Hall of Fame people, that is something that haven't been done yet. So those are derivatives that I'm looking at creating, and it's all gonna have like Afro in front of it.
That's awesome. We've got about 8 minutes left before the Clubhouse, but I really was there something else you wanted to talk about? You had mentioned some other platform.
Oh yeah, Hitanak, or they call it Hands for short because it's easier to pronounce.
Wasn't that this piece you showed us?
Yeah, so I just want to explain to everyone, like, if you are interested, like, to me, this is the best platform to start off on because the gas fees are really cheap. You paying somewhere between 20 to about 50 cent per mint or per purchase in gas fees, and that's very cheap compared to Ethereum, where you paying somewhere between 50 to like 100, or sometimes even $200 for just buying a piece on Ethereum or OpenSea, right?
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested on, like, signing up for like Hands, you use this wallet called Kukai. Kukai is a wallet to connect to the Hands network, so you can have Tezos. And on Twitter, it's like a community of people. If you want to start like with buying art here, or minting your first piece, we'll like fund you on your first like couple of Tezos. Like, it's people who give you like 2 or 3 Teslas just to start off, and they'll go a long way for you, since like the minting cost and gas fees is about like 10-20 cents, sometimes 50 cents.
And where do you find that? The people who are helping people get started?
Twitter.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
So Twitter even hit me up. I have some Tezos from the art sales I made. I will fund you like 1 or 2 Tezos if need be. But yeah, it's a really nice community behind this and everything. So feel free to hit me
you can
up.
mint multiple editions easy. You just
Oh yeah.
yeah. This interface for, like, you're right. It's like aesthetically, it's a lot to look at. Or it's not what necessarily I feel like people are used to, but it is very simple. It's much simpler than the OpenSea Minter,
Yeah. So that's like
subscription
that
edition.
one's like OpenSea. Then like the wearable of this, it will be something called Object. So you see how you got OBJKT. So OBJKT, I think it's .io, is connected to Hands. So let me see if I can find it. Yeah, objkt.com. Nope, that's not it. It's .com. Yep, .com. And they all is connected. So whatever you mint on Hands, it will show up on here as well.
Ah, cool. Very cool. Oh my God, look at this one.
Yeah. Oh, so Tezart. So like we have CryptoPunks, right? CryptoPunks is for Ethereum. Tezarts is for Hands. Like, these things sold out quick. Like, I tried to get one when it was like 200 left to mint, and it sold out like in like 5 minutes in front of my face. It was like, I think it was
These
like
ones?
1400. Yeah, the Tezarts. But it originally was up for sale for 80 Tezos, but now it's up for sale for like 200, 300 Tezos.
That's amazing. So cool. Thank you. I think these resources are great. So that's objkt.com. And this one, I'm just going to drop it in the chat. I don't even know how to. The short is Hands, right? But
Yeah.
why is the domain name so weird? What is that? What does it mean? What does it stand for?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, I looked into the FAQ and just doing some research on the website, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have this conversation with you, but I don't want to rush it. We only have 4 minutes, but I can tell that a lot of your artwork is driven by the imbalance of representation in culture, and it's like, it's such a difficult conversation to have, the way in which Black artists are underserved, the way in which Black communities are underserved. But it feels like that's important to you. And I'm really open to having that conversation. Mm-hmm. I might make an idiot of myself, but I feel like there's so much that is maybe like obvious and maybe easier to talk about in Black communities that isn't being talked about in the wider NFT space. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I guess I'm also saying, like, I don't know what's the most productive way or effective way to like have that conversation, but I wanted to acknowledge that like you're doing great work to just diversify the types of creators we're seeing in the NFT space. And like if you'd like to use this channel as a forum to like have that conversation, like I'm very open to it.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Appreciate you acknowledging that. We actually had a conversation like that earlier today, and on Twitter Spaces, it was discussing how because someone asked, it was about like saying certain words to people, you know what I'm saying, and someone said like, well, what if you say like the word cracker to a white person, like why doesn't that have the same repercussions as saying the N-word to like a black person? And we was having a conversation explaining to the person like it's historical context behind it and make that a more powerful offensive term to certain people versus or like cracker. You know, it's like someone can say that, but it won't trigger you. You know, it's not historical context behind that oppress people. You know, so that was a conversation that was had, and it was an NFT space too. And
that's great.
Yeah, and that conversation kind of changed from there to that. Then we start talking about how we see like these art pieces that really don't deserve that much acknowledgement or attention, and it's not that good of artwork, but it's getting this type of clout because who's behind it, funding it, who's pumping it, who's listing it at 1 Ethereum, buying it for 1 Ethereum, relisting it for 2 Ethereums, and who's buying it back again for that price? Is it really the average person, or is it people kind of like changing up the market, you know? And it's people changing up the market to get other people to get in and make them feel like it's more valuable than what it really is, you know?
For sure.
So we started discussing things like that and that nature. So yeah, it was kind of
it's a huge conversation. I know I like totally opened up a can of worms, but I'm also having a conscious moment that like I think you're the first black person that's been on the show, and like possibly I not the first person of color, but I think the first black person. And like I think especially in the aftermath of the George Floyd and the protests over the summer and like the Black Lives Matter elevating and like just that conversation being had a lot more, I think it's easy to shy away from the conversation and feel like, oh, we've had it. And the truth is like we'll never, I don't think we'll ever be able to talk through enough, because like we can have the conversation until we're like blue in the face, but like the actions haven't been taken. And like a lot of that is systemic. A lot of that is like societally taught and like ingrained. And so that's another part of the conversation, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be actively aware of it and trying to deconstruct it when possible. And so like I'm recognizing that in myself. Like I want to be responsible or accountable, at least as a white person in the space. And like I think like I also don't know. I don't know if there's a forum for people of color in the NFT space that's already developed. You know, I feel like there's a way in which like people talk about Black Twitter being its own space, right? Like I'm curious how those worlds are or are not intersecting. And I just wanted to kind of thank you for having being part of that.
Yeah, that's good. Like you'd be surprised, but like it's a lot of black people who's not really into NFTs yet or into crypto, you know. So it's like it's slowly starting to trickle into like these black communities about what are NFTs, how can we support each other in like developing our communities and stuff. So we do have like a black crypto page on Twitter. It's like a specific like kind of timeline for like black artists and crypto related topics. So that's a thing. I just got hip to that like 2 months ago. I was like, wow, it's really a thing. It's like a whole bunch of black people involved in this, because like you go on Twitter, you go to like a typical NFT space, like you said, it's all white people, and it's like they all talking about what's the name of the 8 project? They all talking about Bored Apes, Yacht Club. They all talk about crypto punks, and that's all they talk about. They don't talk about like supporting black artists or black women or like marginalized groups, because like we are really small out here and we're trying to make it, you know. One of the collections I seen that made it was it's this collection called Long Neck Ladies. This is 13-year-old African American one female who made these collections of like long, like these ladies with long necks and stuff, and like like I think her trading volume was like 800 Ethereums and stuff. So that project became very successful. And then she got a few derivatives that's out. And like all the like the entire black community like just stand behind her, support her, we share her work, things of that nature. It's a really beautiful thing. But we need more of that. not just for successful collections, but people who's starting to come up or people who want to get into it, you know. And that's kind of like where I put. That's kind of like where my role playing. Like I try to help people who's coming up, who have questions, who want to like, you know, take their art to the next level in an NFT space. So I've been like meeting with people, helping them out with that.
That's awesome. I have to cut this short because we're going over to the Clubhouse. But I want to thank you again for all the contributions. Sharing your work with us is amazing. And yeah, let's continue the conversation. And feel free to join us over in the Clubhouse. It's Let's Be Friends Clubhouse. It's called. Let me check. I'll see if it's open now.
Let's see. Let's Be Friends. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in Clubhouse. I just joined Clubhouse not too long ago.
Yeah, the room is open now. It's called the Let's Be Friends Clubhouse Weekly VCap with Jeremy Knows. So I'm gonna pull you off stage and put up a little. We'll be back, so I can use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And yeah, thanks again, Sam.
Yeah, can you send me the link? Thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah, let me see. How do I
send it to me on Instagram so I can find it easier?
How do I how do I link? I don't know. Oh, plus sign. Yeah. Okay. Copy link. I also sent you a profile on Instagram that is a friend of mine who's giving artists resources in Philly. Has a really amazing like Black artist co-op type situation in Philly, and I feel like you guys have some matching vibes. You might be interested in the work he's doing. He's mostly a music producer, but he has this space in Philly where he helps artists like make t-shirts and like build content and do documentaries and like build out their brand for whatever their art is. Jacob says we're live on Clubhouse. Okay, I'm gonna say farewell. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
All right, thanks for having me again, man. You have a good one.
Thanks again, Sam. Take care. Hope everybody's having a good time. I'm going to turn off my video. I guess that doesn't turn off my audio, does it? Be right back. Let me put up this. And here we go. Hey everybody. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we just did 2 hours. We talked to Sam Blade for an hour on his Afro CryptoPunks project and just like a bit of his journey getting into NFTs, experimenting with different blockchains. And before that, we talked to Chase, who's a Phantom Chase in the Discord, and he's basically ready for launch with the cannabis business NFT integrated project. So that's what we have to look forward to after the week in the news. I had to take a break to use the bathroom, and now I'm also realizing my dog needs to use the restroom. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I'll be back. Mexico. North America. He made that comment today, actually, in the Discord. I don't know what he said. That would be cool. I'm gonna log off and log back in a second. Oh, really? That's very interesting. Right. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It was great to have you on. So just for everybody, Chase was on to talk about his new project, Phantom Unearthed. Or is that the name of the project? Or is the project, yeah, Phantom Unearthed, which is like this cannabis business NFT crossover, trying to do its best to make long-term value for customers. And they've actually written out or conceived, developed, and written a comic book and a whole storyline for this universe where this phantom character has been the king. There's like a king character that's like taking their identity away, and that's the kind of the pretext for why there are generative versions of this phantom. So this phantom now exists. The phantom, which is the brand IP, now exists in these 7,100 tokens. So not exactly sure how that story plays out, but I love an NFT with a story. Yeah. I'm just sort of sifting through Discord as quick as I can to make sure I'm not missing any like major news for the podcast. Thank you for your patience. Gary did a lot of like telling which characters like scale in his power ranking of what's good and what's not. Found that very interesting. Or not good and not, but like how they rank in his mind. Yes. Right. What is the process called when an NFT is wrapped and transferred to a different blockchain? Does anybody know? Yeah, I don't remember what podcast it was, but he had said, in terms of Ethereum, that he's betting on Ethereum. He believes in Ethereum for the long term, but he was also did a lot of research to understand that if it needed to move to a different chain, that it was possible. And I thought that was very interesting, that there is a possibility that VeeFriends won't always live on Ethereum. Mm-hmm. Gary messages so much in the Discord. It's really amazing. Yeah. Is Wine Library in Edmonton, New Jersey? Huh. Okay, well, Gary has an event at October 14th in Edmonton. I wonder what that's about. Because he's also doing his annual meetup at Wine Library that he does in November. So it's in Springfield. Okay, that's something different. Oh, you know what I have to talk about on the podcast? I have to find this. Gary went into the Gift Goat chat for like the first time in forever. Like almost all of the messaging he does is in the general chat, and let me find it so I can give folks the what he actually said. Yeah. What did he say in the spectacular chat? Do you know? That's right. That's right. I'm really leaning toward Monday being an announcement about the rarities and like all of these spectacular benefits. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this comment from him where somebody was saying they spent their whole paycheck on books. They're not going to eat anything for 2 weeks. And Gary replied, I haven't eaten for 20 years. All right, let me just find this gift goat comment. I think we can start recording. He was really stoked about the patient pig. I remember that. There was a big move to delist. That was fun. Does anybody remember where that pump started? Was it 14 ETH floor, or were we still like at 12, 13, like over the weekend? Yeah. Here it is. He dropped a smiley face in VCon. He said, I can't wait to the FaceTimes. And this is me. I think it's okay that I share this. Because I'm a mod, now I can see all the channels. So when I search Gary's messages, I see everything. That's how I knew before the gift goats posted the messages. I try not to chat in those channels to respect that privacy, but I can still see it. So you guys benefit. He literally gave a smiley face to VCon, said, I can't wait, in all caps, to FaceTimes. Told Spectaculars, VIPs, exclamation mark, no other context. Then he told Just Art, wait till we surprise them. I think it's wait till we surprise them. Told the Hangout Hawks, I also have a surprise for you all when it's done. We're going to have so much fun. And then told the gift goats, I want you all to win, which is why I've been quiet, but I want this to be right. You will get all 18 in the time frame. Don't worry. I had something but changed my mind, thus pushing it. The new moves I have for you is going to be very good and lots of things brewing. So that's really exciting. All right. Shall we? I think we've covered the bases. Have a sip of water. Can I get a let's fucking go? Where to start? Welcome back to the weekly VCAP here at the Jeremy Knows podcast. I'm Jeremy. You guessed it. It's time to cram all of the comments and tweets and little things that may have slipped off your radar in the VFriends universe into a tidy 10-minute podcast so you have no FOMO about what's going on. You know exactly where to be, when to be, and why. There's a lot that happened in the last week. We started last week's podcast so triumphant that the floor had risen to 12. And as I record now, let's get a real-time measurement. I believe the floor of VFriends, after pumping to 18 ETH, is now resting at 16.5 comfortably and strong as we head into a month full of announcements. This is the last silent week from VFriends. Gary has been very intentionally quiet, tactical, and strategic with what he's said. He's tried to give the Discord as many ins to get in the project as he can. And finally, he's about to get loud. So today is September 8th, Wednesday, 2021. And starting on September 10th, we'll have one of the 7 announcements we're expecting this month. 4 of them currently known that I'll just tell you right now. Friday, September 10th, we are getting the VCon location and date. A lot of fun speculation about when and where. My best guess right now is May 19th to the 22nd in either St. Louis, Missouri, or Kansas City. Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, but it's very exciting. And before you go and rush to book your hotel or your flight, please check in with whatever link is provided through the VFriends Discord. As Gary has confirmed, there will be some hotel discount deals for VFriends going to the conference. The following Monday, September 13th, is going to be a big monumental announcement, the likes of which we've never seen and that we know absolutely nothing about. This is going to be a surprise. I don't know if this is something that he's kept under the radar and is going to be a curveball, or it's going to be something that he's alluded to and is finally giving us the information. But he has said that things are really going to move on Monday. So I'm making a point to tell you this. If you haven't gotten into the project yet, or you sold out and you're trying to get back in, please make your move as soon as possible. Gary has been saying for weeks, 10 ETH cores are going to be a regret. Now we're at almost 17 ETH floor, and he's about to move the market with something substantial. Remember that a couple of weeks ago, he made a comment that he was working on something that would affect half of the collection. So while it could be absolutely anything on Monday, my best guess is that it's something related to the utilities in rarity. About half of the collection is like 4,500 tokens is core tokens. And so it's possible that these two things are related, and we'll get more distinction between rare, very rare, epic, and spectacular tokens, both at VCon and beyond. Very exciting. Can't wait to record this podcast next week when all this information is happening. And on that day, whatever it will be, September 15th, we'll be in the midst of the Dapper Dinos airdrop. So the first pre-launch program was announced a couple of weeks ago to be Dapper Dinos NFT, and 555 wallets holding VFriends will receive one of those Dapper Dinos next Wednesday. Don't know the exact time on that. If you're interested in the Dapper Dinos project or minting Dapper Dinos on that day, which is their release, I would direct you to their Twitter page, Dapper Dino NFT, and the Discord associated with it. A lot of fun stuff came out in the Discord. Gary was answering a lot of questions as usual, sort of giving his 2 cents on how characters rank up against each other. But here's some stuff that we know. I'm going to omit the characters because that's a bit of a rabbit hole. But I want you to know about VFriends Series 2 and VFriends 1.5-ish. So the VFriends 1.5 is the gift NFT that comes with buying 12 of Gary's next book, 12 and a half. We don't know what this is yet. It's all speculation, but we do know that it's actually not set in stone. They've provided this gift offer before actually determining what the details of the collection are. I imagine they have a concept, but whether it's the artwork or the utility or the contract or otherwise, it's not set in stone. They're still working on it. On that note, if you're listening from India or Iraq, the team is very aware that there's been a supply issue through Amazon to those countries. And if you are purchasing from there, you will be eligible. You will be given a separate window to purchase your 12 or more books and receive your gift NFT. Worry not. For everyone wondering, why didn't I get a confirmation email after submitting my form? That was the way the process was meant to be. And the team has said that they will be reaching out by October 1st to confirm the wallet address that you put into the form. If you're concerned and want to speak to someone about whether or not your ticket was received, you can email Gary at VaynerMedia.com. And I mentioned VFriends 1.5 because that's what Gary's been saying about this gift. It's a bit of an in-between between the original VFriends that we know and the Series 2 that is coming. Series 2 has been confirmed to be 2022. Not sure if it's quarter 1, 2, or 3, but it will be next year, or it's slated for next year. And Gary confirmed that he's doing his best to keep the price below $1,000 fiat, between $700 to $1,000, which is slightly different than the 0.1 ETH he was saying in the beginning. So expect that to change, but know that he is working to keep it accessible at least a lower point of entry. Gary also went on a couple interviews this week. One in particular I wanted to mention, just about like the longevity of VFriends on Ethereum specifically, as gas prices this week continue to rise and feel like they're staying at a highly elevated gwei. You know, it seems like 200 to 300 gwei is now the norm. Gary mentioned that he's tasting new blockchains. He's playing with Solana, and that in about 6 months, during the holidays, is when he's going to go very internal and sort of hibernate to, or maybe hibernate's not the right word, but he's going to be diving deep on other blockchains. He got educated enough to choose Ethereum, but now he wants to taste Cardano and Solana and Flow and Wax and all the rest. And he mentioned in this podcast that one of the things that reassured him about choosing Ethereum is the ability to wrap tokens and redeploy them to other blockchains. So by no means saying that that is coming, but just in case you're out there frustrated with the price of gas in Ethereum, whether you're moving your token or listing or trading or what have you, VFriends live on Ethereum, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case forever. And Gary is taking precautions should Ethereum fail or otherwise become obsolete with these other blockchains in development. Some news from Mr. Beast. There was an interview that came out today on Impulsive, a podcast by Logan Paul, and you can find it on their YouTube page. Go to minute 34 and you'll see this exchange where Logan Paul and Mr. Beast discuss the moment that Gary Vee called them directly and got them into a call in mid-late February, where he was on a call with 30, what they described as all very successful billionaires. And Gary, with the high conviction that you can imagine from him, said, buy CryptoPunks. You need to buy CryptoPunks. This is why you're going to buy CryptoPunks right now. Listen to me, buy CryptoPunks. And everybody kind of was unsure, asking, are you sure about this? Thinking maybe Gary had lost it. And, 5 months later, proof is in the pudding. Mr. Beast told the story that he followed Gary's advice, purchased 8 CryptoPunks, but wait for it, ended up selling his CryptoPunks and flipped the profits into VFriends. We know that Mr. Beast is heavy on VFriends. It's very interesting to have this added context that Gary pulled him into the NFT space, got him to buy punks, and then following that good advice, when Gary said buy VFriends, he actually flipped his punks into VFriends. Still not sure what wallet belongs to Mr. Beast, but hopefully that will come out eventually. What else can we say? There was a core Gary B that sold for 29 ETH. Pretty impressive. Bot offers have risen to 12 to 14 ETH for core tokens. We're seeing a little less volume at this floor price of 16.5 to 18, but we are also seeing a lot of OG buyers accepting wrapped offers of 13, 14, and 15 ETH. And Gary went so far as to drop it in the Discord and say, looks like the OG buyers are willing to part with their tokens if you give them a solid 13 or 14 spot. With $50,000 plus on the table, it's hard to say no. VFriends is about to go crazy. Like I said, this is the last week where it's going to be quiet. Following VCon on Friday, a big announcement Monday, the first PLP airdrop Wednesday. We have the Sorcerer Scholarship announcement coming on the 25th. Not sure yet if that's going to be the 5 selected sorcerers or if they're going to announce some finalists that will be asked to do something separate. But things are only picking up momentum, and I'm really, really looking forward to it, for one. In the periphery, we have Vayner NFT also making moves. They partnered with the US Open, and there's an open mint currently happening. I believe the cost is $30 fiat plus gas. The website is nft.usopen.com. This is an open mint available until September 12th. Not financial advice, not telling you to go buy it. I will probably get at least one or two because the last few mints by Vayner NFT or by Candy Digital have done well. I know the like Nastia was reselling well. People have been selling the Dodgers tokens well. So do your own research. But for Gary, what these tokens are largely the rookie NFTs. This is the rookie NFT for the US Open. If you anticipate the US Open to stick around, it might be a good buy to research that project, that open mint, and make your choice. Also, Candy Digital released a new NFT series this week with Sweet Futures. This is where they're releasing a series of 3 NFTs per college football player that they are highlighting. Sold out in a matter of minutes, very popular. And if you collect every single player, then you get an added airdrop. So in the Gary Vee world, want you to know about it. Last but not least, Gary did something slightly not out of character, but just unusual for his Discord behavior. Typically, he's coming into general, he's speaking to everyone. But on September 2nd, he decided to check in with some of the smaller communities within the VeeFriends Discord. He started in the Gift Goat chat, leaving a smiley face and telling them that gifts would be arriving in late October or November, that a lot is brewing. It's very good, but he's been quiet because he's actually shifted. He had something in his mind and now it's changing. So very interesting to see him build more value for that token, which we already expect to be wild. Then he went to Hangout Hawks, said he's excited, reiterated that he has a surprise for them once it's all done, told the Just Art camp that there's a surprise. He said, wait till we surprise them. Jumped over to the Spectaculars chat, called them the VIPs, then told the FaceTime crew that he can't wait for their meetings and dropped a smiley face for all of us token holders in the VCon chat. Also this week, episode 5 from Props and Drops was released. We're expecting another one very soon. And today, in fact, Gary was in the studio recording the audiobook for 12 and a half. So Gary is a very busy Gary B. It's only heating up. What else to say? Get your VeeFriends while you can. If you have your VeeFriends listed, be mindful. No listing is safe at this point, as we have no idea what's going to happen to the floor with these announcements. And with that, please never share your seed phrase. Don't share your screen. Don't share sensitive information with someone that you can't verify their identity. Please be mindful in the crypto space to protect your assets. Consider the investment of a hardware wallet, and otherwise hydrate, stretch, be kind, and be healthy. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. My name is Jeremy. I'm the Heart Trooper number 7. This has been Jeremy Knows. I'll see you tomorrow. Burr, burr, burr. Me too. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening. I can't tell you how helpful it is to have the audience. It really just makes it so much more fun. Yeah, that's great. Well, since Droshik is going to do his announcement here in the Clubhouse, we're not really tied to the 10 o'clock shift, but I also want to be respectful of his time and make sure that people hear about that. I also want to give some space to Chase to introduce himself and talk about his project and his ambitions. So since we got to talk about the news beforehand, unless anybody has a particular question or has a new thought, let's do that. Let's give some space right now. Thank you, Chase. Really appreciate that. And again, Chase is Phantom Chase in the Discord. You can back channel him here. And his website is Phantom Unearthed. I want to just provide some space now. If like anything in the way that I reported the news kind of hit different, you want to like share a perspective, jam on it for a bit. Otherwise, we'll pivot into Stargazers with Droshik. So no rush, take your time. If anybody's in the audience and wants to speak, please just go ahead and request. It's an open space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there's something I forgot from the podcast. Did you guys know that there was a VFriends POAP release this week? Yeah. Yeah, I meant to, I just didn't have it in my notes. And I don't know, I saw Ethan in the room earlier. I don't see him now. So I should have talked about this. That's okay. I can always record another podcast. There's a fantasy football league happening in the VFriends Discord, and they've started this and are hoping that other large projects or small projects for that matter get involved. And the way to be involved is to go to the announcements channel, like 2 or 3 announcements back is the announcement of the league, and you have to hit the certain emoji that assigns the role of fantasy football, or I'm not sure exactly what the role is called. Let me see, I can check. But they had a voice chat where they picked their lineup, and you can see when you claim the role, you get an NFL fantasy section in your Discord. So there's fantasy info, there's NFT red zone, and there's game day chat. And so there were like 70 people on this call, and artwork by Ethan Bryant was used and approved by Craniac at the least. I think Gary approved it as well. And it's awesome. It's like a picture of the black cat wearing a football helmet, and it says draft time on top with the little VFriends at the bottom. They didn't announce it. It's like, don't feel like you missed it, because like you literally had to be there to get it. But what's more notable is they're going to be doing weekly POAPs. So in fact, I'm looking at the chat right now, and Corso just confirmed week 1 will have a POAP. So I think that means tomorrow, actually. So pretty cool. This is the first VFriends released POAP. I think it's actually significant. And there were only 52 minted. So pretty cool. Yeah, I think Nicole got one. Yeah. I'm just posting the podcast. So, I mean, is that it? I mean, we did kind of discuss everything beforehand, which actually maybe this is a good moment. Like, so for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like we've had this format where partly because I haven't written out all of the news and I need the time to like chat with everybody, but that we're doing this sort of collaborative, like what was the news of the week, and we kind of do the discussion beforehand, and then the podcast is recorded. Are you guys enjoying that format? Or does anybody miss the version where like I just come in hot with all of the news and then we break it down afterwards? Is there pros and cons that you guys can educate me on? Yeah, I'm personally liking it. Right. I know there's some graphic designers in the room, so I just want to share. Andy Kraniak, president of VFriends, tweeted 2 hours ago, any amazing graphic designers want to work VFriends? Link me to one or two of your favorite pieces of content. What was that? Right. Yeah. So far, the only mention has been Gary Vee saying there will be something you can do with your token if you can't come. So I don't know if that means you can stake it or rent your access or do something else. But they are definitely aware that it's, especially this first year, hopefully it's trickiest the first year and things are going to get easier as time goes on. But especially 2022, it's going to be difficult as there are, like, I think the UK is completely banned from coming to the United States until further notice. So like that's not, like there are people who want to spend the money that it would take. There are plenty of people who are concerned about the travel cost and are glad they have a VFriend, but don't know if they'll come because it's expensive to or they can't take a vacation or whatever the case may be. But there's also a whole nother slate of people that literally just can't get authorized to leave their country to come to the States for a conference. So we don't know what the solution is. We know that there will be some options. Well, actually, I shouldn't say there will be options. What Gary said is that you will be able to do something with your token if you can't make it. And as far as like reserving rooms once it's announced, I think I actually think my advice would be to rent the room anyway, even if you just make sure you rent a room that you can cancel for no cost, because you don't want to be caught in a position where COVID gets better and the conference is in May and in March or even April, it's announced that Australia borders are opening up, but all of the hotels are now gone and you have to pay a premium for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call. You know, I don't know that I did any singing today, and that's sort of a shame. Into the stargazers. Well, my friends, I don't know what the fuck I'll sing, but I'll do it in a rhythm so you think it's a song. How is that? Now you clap. Thanks for your time. Goodbye. I don't know. It's Wednesday night and the stars are bright and we're wondering where's the show. There's a VCon brewing in the background, knowing that the stars are out. I know. And stargazers and Droshik on deck. We don't know yet what the project is, but we're putting out our necks to say that we provide the value to the people in the room. And that's all we can do is do our best and do it soon. So, my friend, the music producer, who goes by the... Nah, fuck. It was all right for a second. I tried to syncopate and then I lost myself. Yeah. Was that a song? Great. Yeah. One of these days I need to make a mixtape with like all of the partly written songs I've sung and finally write something out of all of them. Yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah, let's fucking go. Yeah. Do you want me to give you a little introduction? Well, I'm not sure people are familiar with your project, and great. So let me just say that Droshik, who most of you, if not every one of you, know, is a Karma Kiwi holder, an OG VFriends supporter, and is also a huge giver in the space. They've released a few different projects, some one-offs. He's got his Portals to the Underworld giveaways. He's got his Guardians project where you buy a Guardian and you get a 30-minute sort of ask me anything, work on anything, free consult for whatever you're up to. And this project that he's going to be talking about today, the Stargazers, I feel is kind of derivative of there, as Droshik has found just a real passion and purpose through the NFT space and welcomed and reaffirmed by this NFT community. And we're happy to have him here to talk about this this very generous project called Stargazers. Mhm. Agreed. Just out of curiosity, like maybe by flashing the mics, like how many people have an NFT project that they want to release but they haven't, or that they haven't, or no, that they have an NFT project they want to create but they haven't started. That's right. Yeah. Mm.